video. Yeah, man, I just want to say like a lot of respect to you right off the gate because like how the hell can you like I don't care if it was a Democrat or someone I didn't like. Maybe there's plenty of Democrat influencers I don't like. I would never celebrate someone's passing. That's just disgusting activity, and I'm sure from what I hear from you, you feel the same way about it.
No, yeah, I look. I am here because I think that people need to have conversations. Charlie Kirk was killed because he believed people need to have conversations. Um, yeah, any murder is antithetical to my whole mission. So yeah, I disagree with it.
Yeah, man, it's disgusting. Some people are saying, well, he was talking about illegal immigrants. He was talking about immigration. He was talking about trans shooters and this or that. He deserved it. No, that is disgusting, man. Anyone should have the right to use their First Amendment right without, worrying about what happens to them. Rather it be me or you or anyone else. Like, man, that's
Yeah,
horrific.
it would be completely hypocritical to me. I'm actually going to be in court tomorrow for a challenge to a restriction on the First Amendment in a courthouse. So I mean, that's the thing is that I think all these people who may say something about Charlie Kirk using his voice to bring opinions to power, um, they out there actually doing anything or saying anything. So I think more so than anything, they're jealous that the man had a platform.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I don't agree with all of his opinions on everything, but if he was so wrong,
Doesn't matter.
if he was so bad at articulating himself and getting his point across, then why would people find, the thing like necessary to unalive him? And a lot of people are out there talking about they're like, oh, well, the suspect looks like this person he debated. The suspect looks like this person he debated. That may be it. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it came out. It was like someone that tried to debate Charlie Kirk and they maybe got embarrassed or something like that happened for them, and they just decided to do that. That's sickening to me. It's okay. It's okay. But no, you don't
Like
have to mourn him, but you shouldn't be on Twitter disrespecting him. I mean, you don't have to mourn anyone. Like, if you don't like him, you don't have to mourn him. I mean, if you want to be happy about someone's death, I think that's disgusting. But at least have some respect and don't do it online. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, at least don't do it online. Like, don't be disrespectful like that to Charlie's family and his kids and stuff like that. Do I think they would want him to have a platform to disrespect the dead man? No, I think he would say that's not Christian-like and that's disgusting. Yeah, he did, but he wouldn't be condoning this. If anything, I think he would use this instance to like criticize them and say, "Well, look at these demons." Like he would point out instances. I mean, I know you don't agree with this, but he would point out instances like he would say, "Look at this illegal immigrant. Look what crime they did here. Look what they did here. Look what this Democrat did here and there." And he would use that, and he would say, "Okay, look, this is where we're at in America, and this is a reason why we need to, stop this bullcrap." Poor Charlie, R.I.P. Charlie. I mean, he believed in the Constitution, it doesn't really, like, what did you say? Is he more of a conservative guy or is he more of a First Amendment guy? I mean, he was both, man. Most conservatives are First Amendment guys. Like, if you like the First Amendment, I think you align a little bit with the conservatives. Can you guys hear the guest? Can you guys hear the guests? They can't hear you. Do you mind if you leave and rejoin? Sorry, guys. Give him a second. He's gonna leave and he's gonna rejoin. You still there? Guys, hit that like and subscribe button. Double tap the screen. Double tap the screen. Why does Trump always blame the left? Man, who else did this except the left? Who else did this except the left? This is what I'm saying. Trump 2028, guys. Smash that like button. Okay, can you hear him now, guys? Let me know. It should be better.
Yeah, sorry, I was on I was on 4G. I was on my Wi-Fi there.
Okay. I can see you now, but you're a bit better. Yeah, you're on your Wi-Fi now. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on Wi-Fi now. But the point I was making is that the reality is that not all conservatives are constitutionalists. There's a large segment of the conservative party which is requesting that martial law be enacted, and I don't
I
see
mean,
any
I wouldn't say
here.
that. Who is requesting martial law to be
That's
enacted?
been that's
Name
been a
one
talking
person.
that's been a talking point. That has been a talking point on conservative forums for at least 12 years.
Forums or politicians and actual people?
Forums.
I don't live, man. I don't sit on Reddit all day. I don't consider people that sit on Reddit, conservatives. No offense to anyone that's a redditor out there, but like, I don't know. I've never seen this on Reddit before. I would need a source. Just saying that is not. That's not true, man.
Okay, well, my experience is that there is a large segment of the conservative party which I would call anti-constitutionalists. They want people to not have the right to be free of search and seizure. They don't.
I've never seen that ever in my life either, man. Most of the Republicans hate. If you're doing something illegal like search and seizure, most conservatives hate that.
Not saying you personally, but the conservative party is the one that wants to suspend the 14th Amendment. You don't want people to have the right to due process. You want citizens.
Dude, they have the right to due process. If you want to argue about that, we can. What due process are they not getting? Do you not know about the
Well,
1990s law of expedited removal from Bill Clinton? Do you not know about the Alien Enemies Act? Do you not know about President Barack Obama's 3 million deportations without due process, and 80% of them got no court date, no trial, nothing. They just got deported right out of the country. I mean, haven't I shown you this article many times before? I think we already been down this road before. Like, we do want due process. We want due process for legal citizens that came in the country.
that's not the Constitution. The
The
Constitution says
Constitution has, added laws to it, just like we have the Constitution for the Second Amendment, and there's been added state and federal laws to that. It doesn't say but this or this, but we have the Expedited Removal Act, which says if we catch an illegal immigrant within, a couple hundred miles from that border, we can deport them without going to court because they just entered the country and we caught them. That's Bill Clinton passed this law. The Democrats have been following this law for a long time. So to say that the Republicans are against it, man, that is completely ridiculous. Bill Clinton literally passed a law that is going against your quote unquote 14th Amendment. I mean, this is the Expedited Removal Act. It doesn't give them due process. It says they can be removed out of the country without actually going to court. And the Alien Enemies Act, I don't know what president was around when that was made, but
that was a long time ago. That was the 1700s, I think, or 1800s.
well, I don't know who was president at the time, but it could have been a Democrat as well. Who knows? But man, to say that it's the Republicans, all we want is to deport people within the federal law. Everything Trump has done has been within the federal law. I mean, the only thing that was I'll admit when there's mistakes. The only thing that was a mistake was about Abrego Garcia, man. I mean, you can argue that's a mistake, but they brought that man back into the country, did they not? I mean, and
It,
they're
it
now
feels it
deporting him.
feels a lot like you guys, like the Conservative Party, wants people to be held in dungeons rather than have bail orders.
You want to know bail holders? I don't want.
Bail orders, like rather than be released onto your personal recognizance.
Yeah,
Or
if you can pay your bail, I believe in you should be able to have a bail. But if you're an illegal alien criminal, then you can't be released on bail when you've already been roaming around the country for years. And second off, I'm not one of those people. I don't know about you, but I don't believe in cashless bail, my guy. Cashless bail is bullshit. I don't think I've ever debated or talked about this topic, but man, cashless bail is bullshit. But guys, smash that like button. We got 300 people in here. If you guys have any questions, comments, anything you want to talk about, drop some super chats. But man, I don't believe in cashless bail. We see in cities and states where we have cashless bail, people will go do out murders, go into prison, get out. They'll do stick ups, they'll do whatever. They'll go to prison and they'll get out. Hello, Burnell. What do you think about cashless bails? I mean, I've already proven to you how we've been following due process. I said the name of the laws. I said how they can be used, and the Alien Enemy Act. It says an invasion. It doesn't. It does say during war times, which I could also argue that we are in war times, but that wouldn't even be my talking point. My talking
Congress.
point would be
War
that
is
our country
Congress.
is being invaded by the legal definition of invasion.
We are not at war.
We are at war in different countries. We're in war in Ukraine, and we're basically funding half of that. So, but that's neither here nor
is a
there.
specific definition which is declared by Congress.
Yeah, I know. I understand that. We don't have a declaration of war against any country right now,
There you go.
which would need to be passed by Congress. But
so it doesn't matter if we may be at quote unquote.
But either way,
war,
we are getting we
war.
fit the legal definition of invasion from another country, because I mean we're getting invaded by. All it means is you're getting a land occurred by a specific set of group of people, and that is indeed happening. I mean, they're basically coming in the country at record numbers before Trump got into office. And like I said, this literally the Alien Enemies Act went to the Supreme Court. They knocked it down the first time. They said no, this is unconstitutional, or they said some bullshit like that. Then they reviewed it over and they said no, actually this is constitutional because our country is getting invaded by these illegal immigrants and by the cartel and by the gangs. I mean, that's what the Supreme Court said, my guy. Like, I'm not just pulling this shit out of my ass. Like, trust me, the Democrats have done their best to try to claim that he's not using due process, but at the same time, he's literally using some of these laws that were passed by, Democrats like Bill Clinton. I mean, I don't really like Bill Clinton. I don't think he was that good of a president, but this is definitely an example of something good that he did for the country. Who is invading? The Trinidad de Agua, MS-13.
You don't like economy
Mexican,
presidents?
Guatemalans. Sorry?
You don't like economy presidents? You don't like presidents that are good for the economy?
Trump is good for the economy. I mean, we've argued about this here and there. You said, oh, the interest rates. You said this or that. I mean, man, I've argued with economists. I argued with this one quote-unquote economist guy that debated Charlie Kirk, actually. He met Charlie in person before, and, he didn't agree with his ideas. But this quote-unquote liberal economist guy, he was telling me he was a liberal. He was a Democrat. He wasn't completely liberal. He wasn't completely Democrat, but he was more on your guys' side. And he was telling me that poor people shouldn't have their own roads because it should be based on how much you pay in taxes. It should be a private system. That's what he said. So the poor people would have no road or dirt roads. That's what he said. And he was literally on y'all guys' side, like the Democrat side. Like, I mean, it's kind of just ridiculous.
The thing is that the last time that we had a budget surplus was Clinton. So
we had a budget surplus in June. What do you mean?
No, we haven't. We have a
we did. We had a $200 billion budget surplus. I want
the tariff revenue that was found to be illegal.
Do you have a computer near you, or do you have another?
Are you talking about the tariff revenue that was found to be illegal that they have to give a refund for?
They're not giving a refund for it. And by the way, it didn't even go to the higher level courts yet. This was at a very small level, federal court level.
Yeah.
They're going to the Supreme Court for this, my guy. Didn't they also rule that the Alien Enemies Act was unconstitutional, but then they went back to the Supreme Court and they said it was constitutional? I mean, man, but there's no money being refunded. And you're going to say, oh, that's because of the tariff money. That's because of the tariff money. Well, thanks for proving my point that tariffs are a great idea. And
They're not
also,
because
you
they're
you kind of
illegal.
2 seconds ago you said there was no surplus, and then you said, "Oh, because of the tariffs." You
Saying
got to make
tariffs
up your
are
mind
great
on
is
which one
like
it
saying that
is.
I'm rich because I robbed everyone in my block while they were at the movies. It's like I'm gonna have
I
to
mean,
give the
man,
money back.
they're not robbing you. You don't have to buy shit from China and Alibaba. And honestly, people like let's talk about this for a second. 6 months ago, people were saying, "Oh, when these tariffs get enacted, an iPhone is going to cost $3,000 or $4,000." Bro, the price of an iPhone. I look on Google all the time. I look in shops, dude. The price of an iPhone has not gone up at all. Like, will you recognize that, or are you just going to sit here and deny that?
What the price? Oh, look, man. That I mean, the iPhone is so inflated already.
Okay, so is everything else. Computers haven't gone up in prices. Flat screen TVs haven't gone up in prices. I mean, come on, my guy. Like, we can't just sit here and say, "Oh, the only thing you can say is oh, grocery prices." And my opinion is like grocery prices have gone down in certain states, but they do have more room to go down. I won't lie there. But dude, are we gonna sit here and pretend that Biden didn't have
But
the
do you
highest?
honestly think so? So the prices of things going up correlates with a stronger stock market. So
That's
I don't
not no,
really.
that's not true, my guy. That is
Yes, it
not
is. It
true.
absolutely is. If people are spending more money, then there's going to be more revenue.
Dude, look at 2008. Grocery prices were really high for people. The stock market was completely crashed. Look at 2021 or 2020, whenever that COVID crash was. Dude, prices were freaking high for groceries, and the stock market crashed. And I know that Trump was president for part of that term, I believe, for part of that time. But in 2021, I think it was the crash was. And, the stock market, I was investing in the stock market. I still do, and I looked at it back then, and the whole market crashed. Grocery prices at the same time, they were going up 20 to 30%. Can we like recognize that for a second? Don't Can you agree? Can you at least agree? This is like a litmus test. That
Okay,
Can
I'm
you
listening.
agree that the prices of groceries and inflation under Joe Biden was the highest in any president's history? I mean, it's not really
10%.
arguable.
It's not anyone in history. We've seen 25% under Reagan. Was it like Reagan or somebody? Someone in the
Nah, it
80s.
wasn't that high. Maybe in the Great
Yeah,
Depression
it
it
was
could have
20. It was
been
like
higher.
20%, 25%
Dude,
in the
during
80s.
Reagan's administration, the economy was doing great. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I believe there was nothing. Even no, from everything I hear, it was doing great. But if anyone can correct me or him on that, let us know.
Yeah.
But
So
like,
Scooby has it right. We had 10% inflation
in our
during
lifetimes, and
Biden.
I'll say it like this: in the last 50, 60 years, or at least in our lifetimes, can you agree that inflation under Biden was the highest it's ever been? Yes or no? Because if you
No,
say
not true.
no, that is a
Not true.
blatant lie.
That is, it has. High Biden has not had the highest inflation in America.
Yeah, he has, dude. We need to fact check
Thirteen
this.
point five under Reagan. Tom Pepin. Sorry for
I
interrupting.
said in our lifetime. I said in our lifetime, my
Oh,
guy.
our
I mean,
lifetime.
I didn't
Oh,
say in history because the Great Depression probably had higher. Tom Pepin said 13.5.
under Reagan. Yeah, Reagan had bad inflation.
I didn't even see that comment.
That's what happens when you have really poor economic policy. You get
Okay,
inflation.
but I said in our lifetime. Were you alive during Reagan? Because I wasn't.
No, of course not. No, no. I would have shit my bricks if I was alive back then.
No, that's what I'm saying. But in our lifetime, Biden has had the highest inflation. Do you agree or not?
In our lifetime, yeah, I'm thinking that's correct. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how can we sit here and just say, "Oh, Trump, 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 Trump"? Dude, he did tariffs his first term. Did you see and create? He did tariff his first term. And second off, I know you don't like Biden. I don't think you like Biden, but like, dude, Biden just raised the tariffs Trump already put in place. I mean, I think that was something good Biden did. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, every president's perfect, yada yada yada. But guys, we have 428 people in here. Double tap, subscribe. We're only at 19 likes. Let's get to like 40 likes, please. Double tap that screen. And if you guys have any questions, comments, anything you want to talk about, drop some super chats. Tom Pepin said it went down to 4.1%.
If we have any constitutionalists in the chat, of recording in a courthouse, uh, they fail the strict scrutiny test. So if any questions related to constitutionality, I'd be happy to talk about that.
These people are disgusting. They're saying, "Oh, any college tour is coming." Blah blah blah. Dude, if I went to a college tour, I'm not gonna do anything where I can't bring a bunch of guns with me. I'm just gonna put it that way. I'm
Yeah,
from
I
Florida.
mean,
We have If you believe in the Constitution, in Florida we have the constitutional carry law. Man, you can if I go anywhere, if I do any public events, I'm gonna have at least 10 guys with me with AR-15s, pistols, all hanging out. They're gonna have that shit right out in the open. So you already know what's gonna happen because I'm not messing around with any people, any shit like this. Because these people are demons, my guy. They're celebrating the death of another man. That is disgusting.
I will say this: they made a martyr of Charlie Kirk, and that was probably the worst thing they could have done.
Yeah, exactly. Don't you think that the Democrat Party is going to lose a lot of voters, and they're going to lose
No,
probably the
no, I don't. I think that Charlie Kirk was pretty clearly he demarcated the line between himself and liberalism. He wasn't no he there was no pull on the left from Charlie Kirk whatsoever. He was really good at getting young people to talk. I don't think he was good at bridging gaps.
empathy is not owed to oppressors, dude. You're a disgusting human
Yeah,
being.
that's
You are
weird,
the
dude.
oppressors. You
I
guys
mean,
are the oppressors. If anyone has any questions, comments, anything they want to bring up about tariffs, inflation, or anything they want us to debate like that, drop a comment if it's really good, or if you want us to read it out loud, 100%. Super chats because we do have 600 people in here right now. $12 a pound coffee, dude. My friend's a restaurant owner. Where the hell are you buying coffee for $12 a pound?
dude, that's so expensive. Where are you
Dude, that's
going?
not even true. My friend owns a restaurant. He told me he's like, well, coffee, the price is already what it is. Even with tariffs, it might go up to like I forget what he paid. I think he paid $3.50 for a pound of coffee. He said even if these tariffs do eventually take effect, which I don't believe obviously they haven't. First off, because the tariffs are fighting in court right now. Second off, they just haven't taken effect yet. CNN and other people will admit to it. But that's the funny thing. A lot of these Democrats in here are complaining about their coffee prices already, even though, like, literally, the tariffs have been paused once again. And you know, you see 450 people. What's up, Jimmy? If you have any questions for us, any comments,
Any constitutionalists, follow my
any
page.
constitutionalists, drop some super chats. Anything you want us to talk about, anything you want to mention. R.I.P. Charlie, guys. I don't
Kirk
care
is
if you
not
say you're
deserve,
not a Democrat.
and
Listen.
he's not owed your empathy. But at the
He's
same
not owed
time,
your empathy, but to make public comments and to, say disgusting shit publicly, you don't have to mourn the guy's death. That's not necessary. But avenge Charlie. That's what I'm trying to do, bro. I'm trying to make these videos and get this debating stuff out here. Hey, what's up, Chris? What's up? How you doing, my guy? Yeah, so you agree that Biden had the highest inflation. Why do you think he was so bad with the economy?
wait, Reagan or Biden?
I said in our lifetime.
So Biden, I think that you know he just wasn't a very good politician. He didn't have the forethought to see how the crime bill would bite him in the ass. Uh, he was kind of a puppet that was for sure going to get the elderly vote because he pushed he had a popular legislation in the '90s. So was that even the '90s? I think it was the early '90s, right?
Yeah, that was the early
Uh,
'90s, but that's not that. Well, I mean, I think
I
Biden had something to do with that, but that was mostly the Clintons.
Nah, that was. I mean, I know the crime bill
Biden.
because of Biden's speech. Yeah, I know about it. That speech that he told was a dagger in his ass, as far as I'm concerned. Uh, he was
I
he was
mean,
not a
didn't he
good. I
say
mean, he
some
just
shit
wasn't he
about
wasn't a
black
good
and brown
person.
children should be separated from his children or some shit like that?
Yeah, he was saying a lot of crazy shit back then.
I mean, I forget the name of it, but him and Hillary had a mentor, and he was like a KKK member.
Yeah, weird shit. Psyop.
What's a psyop, dude? This isn't a psyop. This is a horrific incident. Dude, he didn't spread any violence. Would you agree that you
No,
know,
he didn't spread any violence. Violence is the antithesis of conversation.
dude,
Uh,
having a conversation or saying something, or even if you want to call it hate speech, which I think is bullshit, a liberal term for basically admitting you want to get rid of the First Amendment. If you say hate speech, my guy, I think that is just a bullshit cop out. Like you just want to
no,
give a reason to unalive someone. Dude, we have the First Amendment right.
if Reagan can blame Carter for inflation, Biden can blame Trump. It's logical.
Well, the economy was doing great under Trump. So you're gonna say you're basically one of those people that are gonna do the Democrat whataboutism, or you're not the
Not
whataboutism.
even a little bit. But I'm also stating the logic that if someone's going to blame
Well, I don't believe you should
Carter,
be
Jimmy
blaming other
Carter for
presidents for
Reagan's
how
bad
the country's
inflation,
doing under you.
then we can use the same logic for the vice versa, which is why people need to be careful about what they say and the rhetoric they share on the internet. Not because it's rude or cruel, but because it's illogical and you're setting yourself up
Well,
for retaliation.
I don't really agree with that. And people will say, "Oh, inflation was high because of COVID." I mean, dude, we saw like if you want to say delayed indicators, I do believe there are sometimes delayed indicators, but you can see a lot of stuff instantly. Like, dude, a lot of people were blaming the stock market and the grocery prices on the COVID and whatnot. But
Yeah,
guys,
someone
if you
thinks
have
that the
any
economy is doing worse
questions,
under Trump, and I agree with that.
sorry.
Someone thinks that the economy is doing worse under Trump, and I would definitely
I
agree
mean,
with
I
that.
know all the Democrats would say that no matter what, even if they don't even know
No,
about the economy.
I'm not really a super strong leftist guy.
No, I know you're not because you believe in the
Yeah,
Constitution. I mean, I know this is
yeah.
going to say, "Oh, ironic! All the conservatives want to do this or that." That's not true, my guy. But we have 657 people in here. If you guys have any questions, any comments, drop some super chats if you want me to talk something specifically about Charlie. But I do want to touch on this one thing. But once again,
Challenge
guys,
the power.
double tap
Challenge
the
the powers
screen.
that
Double
be.
tap the screen.
We're challenging the powers that be. If you want me to say something in front of court
Subscribe,
tomorrow,
subscribe, subscribe.
let me know. I'm going in front of the judge tomorrow. Going in front of the judge on the 22nd.
R.I.P. Charlie, guys.
Yeah,
Like I said,
RIP,
I see a
Charlie.
lot of comments and questions coming in. If you want us to discuss, just drop a super chat. It's that simple. But I will say, I mean, you believe in the Constitution, right? So that means you believe in the Second Amendment right.
Captain Cannoli, you're a disgusting person.
I don't know what he said, but you're probably right on that.
He's a dumbass.
But if you care about the Second Amendment, man, you gotta admit that this kind of situation is not because of freaking the gun situation. Like, dude, he broke multiple gun control laws already, and the Democrats are saying, well, now you guys are gonna want gun control, dude. Every single conservative has said no. This is not what Charlie would want. He wouldn't want more gun reform or gun control. Dude, gun control didn't save him when there was laws against bringing a gun onto that campus. I mean, I know the Utah laws. The Utah laws for school campuses was this: you can't bring a gun even on campus, no matter what, unless you had a concealed carry permit. And then, even if you had a concealed carry permit, you have to keep the gun in your car. You're not allowed to take it away from your personal vehicle.
I'm taking a gun wherever the fuck I want.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, if I was Charlie
I'm being
Kirk, I mean, it
serious.
wouldn't have saved him. He had security that had guns. I will say, I
I'll
think
take a
his
gun
security
wherever
did
I
a good
want.
job. But the only thing they fucked up at is looking around and really checking places. And also, dude, if I was worth $10 million, I'm gonna wear a bulletproof fucking helmet and a vest, and also I'm gonna have a bulletproof screen in front of me. Like, if he had bulletproof glass, maybe that could have saved him, guys. Maybe that could have saved him.
Can I ask a question? One in the
Yeah.
chat if you think that we should dissolve the Constitution.
A what? A W or a what?
A one if we should dissolve the Constitution.
I mean, dude, if you're unaliving people over the freaking First Amendment, over what people say because it's hate speech, he deserved what he got because it was hate speech. You're disgusting. Oh God, one
We
one
got
guy
one
actually
person
said
that thinks
one.
we should dissolve the Constitution.
I saw
All
one guy
right,
that said we should dissolve it. That is
all
disgusting,
right,
my guy. Hell nah, guys.
all right. Good. All right. So look, we all believe in the Constitution. There's
Except
one
one dude.
guy
Oh,
that
there's
put
another
one,
dude. Two dudes think we should.
but the majority of people are absolutely against it. So then that means we need to do it. If we're gonna say we love the Constitution, then we need to live it. We need to walk that shit. And that means no restrictions on guns, no restrictions on filming, no restrictions on speech.
Dude, you might not vote for Donald Trump, but I'm telling you, all the stuff that you're spitting is mostly, conservative values. Even though you say the conservatives want to take away, dude, you gotta stop looking on these Reddit forums, man. These Reddit forums are not how people actually are. Like, I never met a conservative or anything like that before that said, uh, you know, I never met a conservative before that said, "Let's take away our rights." Listen, I would admit if I did, my guy. I know there are people out there that are fucked up that are like there's Republicans that praise people's harmings and deaths. I don't agree with that, but I don't really like that whataboutism argument. Well, what about when Trump did this? Well, what about when Trump did that? What about this instance? What about that instance? Can host please say G unit? You're in Graham's sandbox. It's Graham's rules, bitch. All right,
Woo!
that was pretty funny. That's a pretty
That
funny
was
super
funny. That was
chat.
good. That was much needed. That was awesome. No, man, I'm not a conservative because the reason I'm not a conservative is
But
that
you have conservative values. You might not be voting
I have the
conservative.
values, but I will never ever ever allow a party to dictate how I behave.
No,
And if I
they shouldn't dictate how you behave. That's something that people get messed up, dude. Like they say, well, how can you support Trump when he made this mistake, that mistake, X, Y, and Z? I mean, I don't think he made that many mistakes, but I'll admit it if you bring up one of the mistakes he made, and like he's not perfect, my guy. And just because you voted for a better candidate, it doesn't matter if it's Trump. Let's take Trump off the equation real quick
I'm
because
against, so I'm not a conservative. I like open borders. I like immigration.
man, we had this open borders argument, man. Like, how are we gonna have open borders, my guy? How can we have open borders? Like, how? Like, what do you want? No checkpoint, no nothing?
That would be nice. We would make a lot more money if we had open borders.
Well, my dude, he's just principle on rights. Well, dude, he doesn't agree with open borders, and neither do you. So, I mean, he likes open borders, and you don't, Chris. So, dude, like, I hate to tell you this, but I've been having this conversation with many people, many people. Like the average Americans, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anyone out there because most people are not like rich. I don't fit into any of these tax brackets or anything like that. So myself, we're all in the same party together. But in my personal opinion, people that are making under $150,000, $200,000 a year, they are not a benefit to the tax system. They are actually taking more money away from the tax system. Even like probably not me, probably
Only
not someone
people
like
taking
me.
money from the tax system are tax evading, subsidy sucking up massive corporations.
I agree with that too. If you're not paying any level of taxes like Jeff Bezos, then you're fucked up. But the people that are, paying in $2,000, $3,000 a year in taxes, and they're sending three of their kids to school on taxpayer money. They're using public roads. They're using food stamps, dude. If you have one kid in school and in public school, and you're making the average salary of $45,000 a year, $50,000 a year, that means you're a deficit for our tax system, my guy. That means you are a debt. There's no debating it. You are a deficit for our tax system because the average cost for a kid to go to public school is $10,000 a year of your taxpayer dollars. People that are making $45,000 a year are paying about, it really depends on your state and where you're at, but they might only be paying like, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 grand a year in taxes. Like that
Well,
means
then there's
they're
federal tax too.
yeah, no, I'm talking just about federal tax. I'm not even because I live in a state where there's no state tax. I'm just talking about federal tax right now. 4, 5, 6, 7 grand a year. 1,000 views, guys. Hell yeah. If you
What is
have any
that like? Isn't
comments
that
or
like 25?
questions, drop some super
Isn't that
chats.
50K? That's like
Double tap.
25%. Am I
Huh?
wrong?
Sorry?
I think at 50K you're paying closer to like 25%. Am I wrong?
I don't know the tax bracket, my guy. I'm not a tax accountant, but I don't think that matters. I'm just talking about the sheer amount of money you pay into the system. You're not paying 10 grand a year in taxes.
6, 7.
What the hell does that mean?
It's some Gen Z shit. I have no idea what it is.
But guys, yeah, if you're making the average salary and you're sending one of your kids to public school, that means you are a tax burden on our tax system. Now, listen, I have respect for you, especially if you're paying your taxes, you're not using all these welfare programs, you're working hard, you have a family. Congratulations to you. All the respect in the world. But I'm just being realistic when I say that if you are making the average salary and you have one kid going to public school, I think that you are a tax deficit on our system. So I don't see how you can argue that illegal immigrants will benefit to our tax system. It just makes that's my whole point. I don't see how you can argue, oh, the illegals, they'll come if we legalize all the illegals, they'll come and they'll pay their taxes. Dude, most of these illegals are unskilled workers, first off. They might not even make the average salary. Even if they made 70 grand a year, they would still be a deficit on our tax system. Now, all these skilled laborers that have, computer science degrees, they're in IT, yada yada yada. If they're making 200 grand a year, yeah, I think they would help our economy. Let me read this question, and then I can tell you have something on your mind. It's a super chat. Gee, we largely want this because homelessness is the alternative. A society rifled with homelessness, believe me, it gets worse. It's not desirable. What do you want? What do you want to let the illegals in, or what are you talking about in general? Like, I'm not saying stop helping people that need a leg up here and there, but I don't believe like a person my age or your age or between our ages. I don't know what the age difference is, or I don't know how old you are, but that doesn't matter. But anyone that's in their 20s to 30s does not need to, like, if they're able-bodied, they don't need to be using government money to live. Not illegal is welfare. My guy, I don't. That's a really touchy
What?
topic
Okay,
when you're talking about
I don't
Section
disagree
8.
with that, but let me. I challenge you on the basis of principle. Why do you not like people getting money from the government?
This guy, we'll talk about that in a second, but let me read this. Immigrants pay more into the system than they
Than
get.
they get, which is
Is your
true.
profile picture wearing a Trump supporter hat, or who
Well,
the
what
hell is
was it,
that
like
in your
a
picture?
$60 billion
So listen,
dollar?
I don't have anything against people using government benefits. I don't have anyone against if you need food stamps, okay, I get it. Especially if you're working, cool, I get it. I have nothing wrong with
Well,
that.
I
If
don't even
you
understand the apprehension to taking government money. Like what? Like explain that to me.
What do you mean? Like, why am I against it? Because if you're an able-bodied man that can provide for yourself, why would you take a handout?
Because you have no choice.
I'm not saying if you have no choice, man. I just
No,
said if you
I'm
need
saying
it.
that you have no choice. You have to take subsidized gas. You cannot buy
Dude,
unsubsidized gas.
that's a free market product, first off. And I don't know
No,
how.
but that's what I'm saying. It's the price that you pay is a subsidized price.
Yeah, okay. Subsidies and businesses and public businesses are different than welfare. What we're specifically talking
No, I'm
about is
saying
welfare here.
the price of the prices you experience for food, for gas, for education are all subsidized prices. That would
Dude,
not
I'm
be those
not talking about
prices.
subsidies, but I'm fine with that as well. Like I said, I'm fine with you taking welfare
Okay,
if
so
you
how
really
are you
need it.
fine with me? How are you fine with me paying for your gas, but you're not fine with me,
I
collecting
don't
money
know
from
about the gases. I don't know how much they're subsidized. I don't know if that's
that
100% true. Like I just
every
said, I'm
dollar
fine with you
that
taking welfare if you need it. But let me ask you this question.
every dollar
Are
that
you
you spend
fine
on
with the
gas, the government spends $7.
Sorry?
Every dollar that you spend in gas, the
Gas
government
is not
spends
subsidized. It's sold on the open market. I don't think it is subsidized, to be
is
honest with you, but I
absolutely
would have to do my
subsidized.
research. I'm not going
Gas
to speak on something I don't
gas
100%
is
know about.
subsidized.
But let me ask you, let me rephrase the question. Let's draw back to the question again. Do you think that people that are working age or military age, men that could join the army, that could join the military, should be out here on Section 8 taking government benefits when, I mean, I get it. Listen, like I said, if you lose your job or if you're in a bad situation, you need a leg up, okay, fine, take it. But if it's been like 3, 4 years, you're not benefiting your life, you're 26, 27 years old, let's say you're younger. Let's say you're 24 because that would be more of the military age. Let's say you're 24 years old. You've been on welfare and food stamps and government assistance for 4 years. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. I'm listening to. Yeah, I can hear you.
You've been on a government assistance, specifically Section 8 welfare food stamps for 4 or 5 years, and you refuse to either get a degree, get a well-paying job, or anything. I mean, man, you have so many options. Why should we be paying for their free shit when they're military age? They can join the military. B, they can. There's a lot of different things they can do, even if they don't have an education. Dude, there's so much opportunities in America to make a lot of money. It's ridiculous. Like, I just don't understand how you can be okay with someone like 24 years old being on the Section 8 or welfare for 4 or 5 straight years and just being like, oh, they need it. Dude, that's not logical to me. They're just
Because
abusing
there's
the
a
system.
presumption of good faith upon the part of the government workers.
Well, let me
If
ask you this:
someone's
do you think people are abusing it? And if you do think people are abusing it, do you agree with
do,
that?
do you think that every single person who's approved disabled is like beating the system, or that there's like do you believe that do you have a presumption of good faith on the part of the government workers?
Sorry, say again. I was reading this chat. Do I have a
Okay,
presumption of
fine.
good faith on
Do
the
you
government
do you
workers?
have a
No, I do
presumption
not.
of
Do
good
you?
faith? Okay, well then I mean you're biased. There's a
Do
typically
you have an assumption of good faith for government workers?
I have no reason to doubt that. I would have to look at the individual facts
Because
of
I
each
don't believe
case.
in the individuals. That's exactly why they need organizations to look over them. Like they need like people like Doge. Okay, let's see what he says. F slur. What the hell are you talking about? But thank you for that super chat, I guess. But let me read Chris's super chat. Man, Chris, I really appreciate that $20 super chat, my guy.
Thank you, Chris.
Really appreciate you. But he said he did prove your point, but he's also, I'll read it out loud. Gas is subsidized, but the argument is straw man and Graham's. I may disagree with Graham, but his argument isn't against subsidies, period. It's arguing that unfettered subsidizing housing and SNAP leads to lack of productivity. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like dude, don't you think people are abusing the system? And don't you think that, I agree with subsidized housing if you actually need it. But if there's so many opportunities. If you're like, my age, like 24, 25, 23, if you can't even afford the basics, dude, you can join the military, you can become a truck driver, you can do so much stuff, and you can make money like this. Like, dude, if you're having that hard of a trouble, like, I'm not even saying this because I'm not even saying this because I don't want them to get my taxpayer dollars. I'm saying this because I want these people to legitimately better their lives. Like, dude, if they just like, if they stop taking the bare minimum just to chill and just to relax from the government, I mean, dude, they would be able to have such of a better life. Like, if they weren't being incentivized to literally do the bare minimum and not work, dude, they could live such a better life. Like, the thing is, a lot of these people don't realize it either because they grew up in poor households and stuff like that. Like, they don't realize how much better life can get with just a little bit, more money. And I understand that kind of thinking, but like, dude, like, don't you think some people are abusing welfare and subsidized housing? Like, I have nothing against subsidized housing or welfare. Like I said, if you need it, I'm completely fine with it. My argument isn't even against it. I'm not one of those ultra right conservative people that are going to say, "Oh, we don't need no welfare for anybody." Blah 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 blah. But my argument is, don't you think some people are abusing it, and don't you think that like it should not be abused? It's like you have to admit some people are abusing it. I'm not saying it's the majority of them, but you have to admit
Yeah,
like
the corporations are. So backpack.
okay, here we go. Just talking about something else
No, but
instead of talking about
because
individuals.
you're blaming David for Goliath dying. It's like
Listen,
the
listen. The person that's taking government welfare instead of working a job is not a victim. Like, I don't know like what kind of mentality you're trying to push here. Like,
what I'm trying
dude,
to
they're
say
not a
is that
victim. When you're
we're
military age, you're perfectly
demonizing the
healthy.
people who really are completely insignificant to the economy at large. I think
Exactly, that's the
that
issue. They're
okay. So
insignificant to the
if
economy.
someone's contribution to society is negligible at best, what good are we doing demanding that they be involved in the economy at all?
Dude, because we don't live in a communist state. Like, you're proving my point. What you're saying is, oh, they should just be able to live off the government. They shouldn't join in
If
the and to help the society.
that's why we have government workers to determine whether they are eligible or not. If someone is found eligible, I have no reason to doubt, and I don't understand why you do.
Because government workers are not. Sorry, thinking of the word, but let me read this. Actually, remarkable reasonably convo between this two. Yeah, I agree with you, Chris. Thank you for that super chat. But yeah, no, like, dude, the government workers are negligent. They're negligent, dude. They first off, there's not really many checks going on and such. I mean, I will say there are some. It's not that easy to get in Section 8, yada yada yada. But dude, we can't sit here and pretend like you've already basically said the truth. You said, "Oh, it's okay that if they're just living off the government." I mean, that's basically your stance. You're saying that it's okay if they're abusing the. It's okay if that we the taxpayers are paying for them to live on Section 8, even if they're 24 years old. They can go into the workforce. They can work perfectly fine. They can change their life. They can better their life, dude. Like I said, I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to force them to go into the economy, dude. They don't have to be forced into. They're either way. They are forced into the economy. Like, they don't have a choice, really. But like, dude, that's not. We don't live in a communist or socialist country. They can't just decide they don't want to work. Like, eventually, their benefits will run out, no matter what. So your argument can't even work, even if you want to act like a sympathetic
For
guy. Their
sure,
benefits
but that's
will run
presuming
out.
that it's only people who receive benefits that are going to be working. The reality is that the workforce is constituted of immigrants who don't receive any benefits.
Dude, I'm not
Soon it'll
saying that. We're still just
soon
like
it'll
taking away from
involve
the argument and trying to
autonomous
deflect.
workers, like autonomous workers. So robots and AI are going to be generating revenue and not collecting benefits. So the reality is that a lot of this is idealism and not practical economics. And practical economics is going to save us from this bullshit.
Practical economics are not letting people live off the government for their entire lives.
Yes,
Practical
it is. It
economics
actually
are,
is. If somebody increases the cost of my healthcare in the workplace, me eliminating them may be a cost saving mechanism.
dude, if
That
they're
is actually
benefiting to
true.
the economy, I don't care. Like, dude, there's a difference between a poor person that's actually working and the difference between someone that's not even trying to contribute to the economy. You understand that, right? Like, you can't compare a poor person to a person that refuses to work. Like, that's not right, my guy. A lot of poor people work very hard. You cannot
Yes,
compare them to someone that refuses to work because they're lazy.
I'm not going to force anyone to work.
Well, the
Why would you
government
do
is
that?
eventually, it's not really up to you. They might have a couple years of living good on Section 8. They might have a couple years of, enjoying those welfare benefits, but eventually the government's going to say, dude, we're not in a communist country. Get off your ass, get a job. And that when that moment comes, it's even going to be
Why
rougher for them, dude. It's going to be rougher.
why
The
would
longer
you
they try to avoid it, the rougher it's going to be for them.
if you're so capitalist, why won't the market tell them to get out of the house, right?
Dude, the
Like
market does tell them to get out of the house.
how
They
if
can
that's
barely
what I'm saying.
afford the basic necessities. What happened? You froze. He's frozen, guys. Man, just live in the woods. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, dude, just live in like a trailer or something. I don't know, but like taxing the rich will do more benefit the economy. Dude, I think, I don't believe in taxing the rich at 60 or 70%, but I also don't think that you should be paying 0% taxes either. I mean, I would like it. I believe that's more just than paying, 90% of taxes. I'd rather pay no taxes like most people would. He's frozen though. U.S. loses 50 to 1 billion to all fraud programs, to fraud across all programs. Dude, that is insanity. He is saying that government can do a great job. They can decide. Elon Musk struck him. I guess so, dude. I hope he comes back. Oh, he's probably gonna join in. Maybe his phone is overheating. I don't know what his issue is, dude, but we do lose a lot of money to fraud in the government. And his argument is, oh, the government's perfect. If they can decide if someone needs Section 8, they can perfectly decide. Dude, that's not even reasonable. Come on, my guy. Come on. I see a lot of comments and people saying stuff and whatnot, but there's so much of them, dude. If you want me to read them, please drop a super chat. The government phone glitched out. Jimmy, after I'm taxed 100K, I still have 300K. I'm doing fine. Yeah, Chris, you're way, way too much taxed. I pray that you only get taxed like 60K a year, or half of whatever you're getting taxed next year. I think that will be the case. Like, dude, you cannot live off the government. That's literally hurting the person more than it is. Dude, in my opinion, it's hurting the person more than it is the taxpayers or the government. Like, it's pretty much hurting the person, and it's pretty much hurting everyone all around. But like, dude, first off, it hurts the person because their quality of living is so low. Second off, it hurts the taxpayers because they're paying for this guy to live in poor conditions. Third off, this guy could better his life, especially like I said, if you're disabled, if you can't work, if you actually need it, I 100% agree. I need more tax relief for super chats. Dude, super chats are, did you guys know that Trump's no tax on tips actually makes super chats tax free? So I live in Europe. There are some benefits, but they don't ever run out and it gets abused. Our politicians are having a similar conversation right now. Where in Europe are you, Julius? 521 billion each year to fraud, half a trillion. Yeah, dude, it's insane. Like, I don't know how you can argue and say, oh, this or that, this or that. But yeah, man, I agree with Europe. Like, a lot of these European countries, they need to stop giving out so much welfare that's abused. Like, dude, Eastern Europe, like, dude, in Serbia, how the hell are you gonna, like, feed yourself if you don't work? In Africa, how the hell are you gonna feed yourself if you don't work? Charlie Kirk did not lose the debate. He lost his life, which is inevitably unfair, dude. I agree. I'm not claiming that I have an idea to fix the economy, dude. I'm just saying some basic principles and ideals that I have. I'm not an economist. I'm not going to talk about how to fix the economy. I'm not going to pretend like I know how to fix the economy, but I will say what I see, unfortunate things in the economy going on, like people abusing government benefits when leftists or liberal people say, "Oh, we should have more illegals in the country. They pay taxes, dude." Legals do not pay that much in freaking taxes. Like I already said, the majority of taxpayers, 90% of them are the people making over 100 grand a year. They pay all your taxes. My heart breaks for Charlie Kirk and the family, but the cringe evil war shit is fucked up that the Democrats are doing. Yeah, my guy, I agree. Dude, when conservative people said this is a war, they're literally talking about if people want a war, if they want to attack them, or if they want to do something to a conservative person, dude, it is a war. Exactly. Stop government benefits. Give us the money back. The rich is taxed enough, dude. I agree. I do agree that some of the rich is taxed enough, but like there are tax loopholes out there. Like Jeff Bezos, I heard paid zero freaking taxes one year, which I think is crazy. But do I think he should necessarily be taxed more? I don't know. I would have to really look at it. But most of the tax money comes from the rich. Comes from people over making six figures a year. And to say that the rich pays no tax, that's hilarious. That is a joke. The rich pay 90% of the taxes, dude. 90% of the taxes. I'm sure he'll be back in a second, by the way, guys. His phone sometimes overheats. 168K a year is considered minimum for comfort living. I mean, dude, if you make 120K or 100K in Florida, you'll be living really comfortable. Trust. But 167K, yeah, you're much more comfortable with that. How does what topic affect my life? I mean, I'm a taxpayer, so of course this affects my life. R.I.P. Charlie, I looked up to him so much. Yeah, me too, my guy. Me too. Gee, maybe we could do a charity stream for Charlie. I'm down for it. I'm down for it. I would be down to do a charity thing for Charlie. I know many people that are giving money to Charlie and doing donations and whatnot for Charlie. Most people looked up to Charlie. He was 6'5". Want to know a fun fact about me? Graham, Euro and Travel, whatever you want to call me. I'm also 6'5". I'm the same height as Charlie Kirk. But that's the problem, dude. When you're 6'5", people don't want a hand-to-hand combat. If a liberal just came up to him and sucker punched him, I would have so much more respect for them. But they would never do that because he's physically intimidating. Me and him are both physically and physical stature and size. We are physically intimidating people. My boy Duncan. Hell yeah. Charlie was what all weak little liberals wish they could be. Yup. Are you a Christian too? Yes, sir, I'm a Christian. Holy crap, I'm 6'5", 200 or 6'4", 240 pounds. I know exactly what that is. Then you know exactly what it is, dude. When you're that size, people don't want to fight you. They just want to take you out in any other way they can. Anyone that's out there spreading hate, you're gonna get your day. That's all I'm gonna say. That's not true, guys. You're spreading falsehoods about Charlie. Anyone that claims to be a Christian or calling Charlie a false Christian, you're definitely not a Christian yourself. Because the Bible doesn't say to, judge other man's freaking faiths. It says that you will be judged in the afterlife. But if you guys have any other questions, comments, this fool is probably going to come back. This fool. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think he's a fool, but he just doesn't have the best ideas on everything. But I would say he's pretty close to a centralist. I mean, when I say a centralist, I mean like people on both sides. NFL players donating so much to Charlie's family. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. What do you guys think about the new setup? Chris, what do you think about the hands-free setup? We're on a tripod now. Before the camera was a little bit farther away, but I think I like the camera right around this length. What do you guys think? Beast! Hell yeah, man. Appreciate you. Thank you, NFL. Whoa, holy shit. Did the tripod almost just fall over? I don't know. Oh, it was a Republican. It was a Republican. It was a conservative dude. It's bullshit. That's all they want to do because they're scared that their party is going in the shitter right now, my guy. It is going in the shitter. Love the new setup. Thank you, Jimmy. I appreciate that. I'm definitely not MAGA, but I love you fools. All right, Chris, I'm going to place the pin comment with that comment. Anyone saying he got what he had coming, bro, I got bad news for you. You got a lot of shit coming your way. Lol, you know why Democrats are sinking right now? Why? Kirk is now essentially a martyr? Yeah, I agree. He is a martyr. Oh, Gavin Newsom, that almost made me puke, my guy. That almost made me puke. Gavin Newsom is not only the worst governor in American history, he's probably the worst politician in American history, at least in my eyes. Oh, not Newsom, guys. Come on, can we calm down? Yes, I know most people working only make 40K a year. That's why I say that sometimes most of them are a tax deficit. I think Charlie Kirk could have been a modern day apostle. Apostle. JKF Newsom, not Newsom. Obama, Clinton, 2028? Nah, man, you're just trolling because it's Trump 2028. Charlie did have 10 to $20 million. I think he had probably closer to $20 million. That is disgusting that you would say such a thing. The Constitution can be amended, guys. It can be amended. It can be amended. It can be amended. Dude, what happened in Denver is disgusting. Chris, I really don't know how you feel about this, my guy, but I personally think, I'm just reading some of these disgusting hate comments, but about Charlie and me both. But I don't know how you feel about this, Chris, but I think there should be some teachers if they want to, they should get a specific kind of firearms license if they want to protect their family and their kids. They should be able to have a gun at school if they have a specific type of license. Trump can make this new license, and all the teachers can go get it. They can get firearms to protect their schools. We should have more police officers. We should have more armed security in schools. Dude, all we need is more people that are willing to take down shooters on campus. Like, dude, how is it possible that three kids died? Like, if these teachers or if there was someone in the school, more people had firearms, dude, they wouldn't have even made it past the first bullet. They would have unalived them. They would have unalived him. I hope the guy comes back, but I don't know if he will or not. But we'll see. I think his phone just was overheating. Oh, sorry for not minding my battery. Sick combo, dude. Can you join back in, or are you gone? Can you join back in for 10 more minutes? You can click the link again if you want, dude. Just click the link again, and we can get you in here if you like. But if your phone's dying, or if it's here we go. Cool. Here he is. There you are, my guy. Hmm?
I wasn't sure if you wanted me to come back or not.
No, of course I wanted you to come back. What? Of course I wanted you to come back. The combo wasn't done. You left mid combo. You don't gotta ask me the next time. Just come back when you can.
It was an Irish exit.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but sounds messed up. Get Chris on the call, man. I want to get Chris on the call, but he's with his daughter and his family right now, so he can't get on here. But yeah, where were we? We were talking about all this stuff. So I mean, I don't know what to say. I guess you're okay with them abusing the system.
So what we were talking about specifically is we were talking about whether lazy Americans or greedy Americans were more of a detriment to America.
That was your conversation. My conversation was first off, people that make over $100,000 a year, they pay 90% of the taxes, and second off, my conversation was that people that are openly lazy are not only destroying their own lives personally. I mean, they're also taking all our taxpayer dollars. I mean, dude, it's like I said before you left. I said that. I think you started to freeze out or your phone was overheating, but I said this. First off, it's worse for them. But here's how it goes on change of command for people that are my age that can literally work a job, join the military, do anything to make some money. The first thing is it's horrible for them because they're ruining their own lives before anything else. Second off, it's horrible for the taxpayers, and also third off, it's just bad for everyone else even. And someone pointed this out. If you believe in the government so much, like if you have so much faith in government workers' abilities, then someone was kept dropping super chats. They said there's $575 billion of government fraud burned in your taxpayer dollars a year. So I
So
don't
you're
know what
saying
you
they're
think about that.
prosecuting $500 billion worth of fraud?
I mean, I don't think they're prosecuting. I mean, you'd have to ask the dude if he's still in here, but I mean, they don't prosecute everyone for every crime all the time. I mean, they only prosecute you if they have to have evidence of actual like purposeful negligence. They have to have evidence of purposeful negligence
It's bad
or
faith.
a malicious behavior. They can't just do it because like, oops, it was a slip up. Sorry, and
Yeah,
they can.
a good faith mistake is not punishable.
Yeah, but I mean, it's so easy to say any little mistake is a good faith mistake. Oops.
You are right. This is a big
That's the
hole.
problem with the government, dude. Like, we can't pretend like. I mean, I don't know how you feel about Doge. It sounds like you don't like him, but like, I don't think that we should be putting so much trust in the government. I mean, like, listen, I like certain people in the government. I like certain politicians. I like Trump over Harris and whatnot. But I'm not going to say Trump is perfect. I'm not going to say I trust the government. Like, dude, they make so many messed up mistakes.
Well,
Like, what about like here's an instance. What about the government sending I mean, I know it didn't go to actual Gaza, but there is this place, I think it's called something maybe something Gaza in Africa, and they sent you heard about this, I'm sure, like
yeah.
$60 million for
The
condoms.
condoms.
But dude, do you think we should be like helping other countries? Like, I don't care about like we're supposed to be America first. Are you an American first guy? I know what you're gonna say. Israel, this,
No,
that, and the third.
I think so. I was talking about that doing what's good for America is not necessarily buying American. For us to benefit, we don't have to be the ones manufacturing everything. Sometimes us being the global currency and then taking our currency and then using that to fund other businesses in other countries and is a benefit to the children in America. I don't think that just because I don't think that we should be subjected to or yeah subjected to labor just because idealistically that's what we believe in. I think that like once again practically and economically we need to look at the numbers and we need to say all right, we can make a lot more money if we take this $1,000 and we spend it on a factory in the Philippines or whatever.
Well, yeah, if we owned a factory in the Philippines, yeah, that would be cool. I could get behind that if we had American ownership in other countries of factories. Sure, that does sound like a good idea. I'm not going to fault you there. I never really heard someone put it that way before because we could make like other countries make factories in, America, for instance. I'm pretty sure I mean, not a lot of them, but some of them do put either, like, maybe not factories, but maybe like tech centers, facilities, different kinds of headquarters in America. So why couldn't we just make some other factories in other countries? But that's kind of going off topic. I mean, I
Well,
do like that idea. That is a
so
good
you
idea.
were asking about whether or not I think that we should be helping other countries. I'm like, yeah, of course. I think that if the infrastructure of the global economy in other countries and developing other countries helps us with either geopolitical problems or if we can mine their resources,
Someone
I
said we
mean,
do own infrastructure in other countries.
yeah, that's the point. Is like we're not doing this out of the kindness of our hearts. We benefit. This is called soft power.
I mean, I
So
don't know, but I don't really believe in soft power. But let's go back. Let's go a little bit back to what I said before. Like, do you think that we should be given like countries for $60 million or however much $1 million for condoms? Like, do you think that's ridiculous, or do you support us just giving I mean, you said it's fine for people to live off government. So is it okay for other countries to live off our money as well?
I look at it as the government workers have a presumption of good faith until otherwise.
Well, that is
So
very
if a member of
that's very optimistic.
USAID, if it's not just optimistic, it's, I'm in line with the legal precedences of this country. I'm
Well, you're
historically
siding
informed.
with you're siding more with the government workers, and I mean it's funny because you probably think, oh, this is like poor people, but some of these government workers, that and you're not really supporting the wealthy individuals, so like that's kind of ironic because some of these same government workers you're calling good faith are some of the ultra rich people that quote unquote don't pay their taxes, which is kind of like a little bit ironic. But once
It
again,
is ironic, and I would say in response to that is that if you want to find out whether or not they're working in good faith, I support your First Amendment right to do records requests and to go up into these buildings and record them and to take photos. I think that us talking about it and speculating is antithetical to what we're both trying to accomplish, which is an efficiency with the least amount of harm.
yeah, I'm listening. Thank you, Good Guzman. If you guys have any questions, comments, he's back now. So if you have any comments, you can drop some super chats or just drop them down below. But yeah, as I was saying, like, I mean, I'm still looking for an answer for this specific question.
Yeah,
It seems
I
like you
have
kind of
no
just.
problem. I have no problem with anyone getting money from anywhere. I think that money
So you think it's
circulating is
fine for
good.
people to live off the government even if they can work and build an amazing life for them? You think it's fine for other countries to live off us even though we owe no one else? So I guess you're not American first in a way because you
No,
think it's
I don't.
fine.
I don't think that we should be manufacturing every single piece of plastic that we use in a Tesla. No, I don't think that.
So
I
let me
think
ask
that
you another question. If you think that it's okay for other countries to, suck our blood dry and take our taxpayer dollars, how do you feel about you didn't say that or you don't believe that?
it's an exaggeration of my stance. But go ahead.
Well, I mean, maybe it's a little bit hyped up with the verbal language of it, but you said you believe other countries deserve to live off our, or you said they have the right, or whatever you believe, to live off our taxpayer dollars. You said you have nothing wrong with giving money to other countries. Is that right?
Yes, not on the principle of giving them money is bad. Absolutely not. I don't think that giving someone money is bad. I think that poor economic policy is bad.
So even if they give us nothing in return, you think it's okay to give them money?
Well, I mean, why are we? So the question is like we have to ask why are we giving these countries money? Where it's not that we're giving them money; it's why.
So it's the reason why. So let's say, for an instance, maybe we were funding some, LGBTQ trans ideologies to be pushed in certain countries. Would you be for that, or would you be against our taxpayer dollars being used for that? Or what about yeah?
There,
Let's start with that question.
there are geopolitical reasons why that may be advantageous.
I don't think so. There is not, but because that literally just lowers the birth rates. But that's another thing. Okay. Here's another question. Here's the last question on this topic. What do you think about you know, like us funding wars in other countries? Do you think there's might be advantageous
No.
reasons for war? Or is there like you said all these crazy things that basically lower human life and whatnot? But when it comes to this, you look like you're gonna say, oh no, wars are bad.
Well,
But
I
funding
think that we
everything
should be
else is
selling.
okay.
I think we should be selling our exports. If our exports are guns, so be it.
So
I
what do you
believe in
mean if they're
selling
done?
sell our exports the same way that Venezuela can sell heroin to Trinidad.
That's horrible, my guy.
That's
That
what
should
they
be.
do. Look, if you
Yeah, I
disagree
know
with me, you
that's what they
disagree with Rand
do.
Paul. Rand Paul was the one that said, if that Venezuelan boat was going to Trinidad, who are we to shoot it down? And I agree
Well, the
that
person
if
that likes
Trinidad
Rand
wants to
Paul is
have
not me. That's
lax drug
Chris.
laws, that we don't have any, we have no stance to take, but we can say that Trinidad doesn't have the right to have laws. They have the right to have laws.
I mean, they can do whatever they want. I don't think we should intervene in something like that. Did we end up intervening? I don't believe so. Did we?
We might have. We might have. Because we didn't go through due process. Under
Did
the
we intervene or did we not intervene? What's the full story? Because
No,
I don't,
we blew up a boat with drugs on it.
that was heading towards
Allegedly, right?
us.
I'll accept that it had drugs on it. We don't know where it was going.
But what if it was headed in our general direction? I mean, what other thing is heading
Who
right towards the middle of
cares?
America?
Who fucking cares in our direction? I
Okay,
want
what
it to
if there
be
were
in our
coordinates? What
jurisdiction.
if there was a map? What if there were secret plans that came out that said it was heading towards America? Would you still say
Yeah.
not to blow it up?
So is Canada not in the same direction as we are? Like
Okay, so they're gonna take their drugs through our country and up into Canada, and you think that's fine, even though hundreds of thousands of people have died from fentanyl?
we should not be policing the world. Don't you agree with that?
I mean, it depends on a specific topic or circumstance, but I don't agree with the drug trade. I don't think we should be allowing open. I don't think we should say, yeah, come on to our country. If you want to bring fentanyl to sell to Canada or into the U.S., go ahead, do it. That's disgusting. No, I think that encourages the drug dealers, encourages the drug trade. Like, dude, think about if you're El Chapo or something. Wouldn't you be like, hell yeah, I love that. I'm gonna make so much money. So many people are gonna get
But
this,
there's
and
but
then
not every policy that happens is to my benefit, and
this
not
is
everything
towards
that
no
happens.
one's benefit. The only person that this benefits is the drug addicts and the cartels. Like, this doesn't not benefit the average American worker in any way. Allowing drugs into our country, not a single way does it benefit them.
I mean, it benefits the global economy that free trade
Dude, it
occurs,
benefits the cartels
including
and
trade of
it benefits the
drugs
murderers and the
to countries that
killers.
legally sell drugs and regulate drugs. If a country regulates a drug, then that's part of free trade.
Yeah, this is not a regulated drug. Like fentanyl, selling fentanyl in high doses is not regulated.
We don't even know if it was fentanyl on the boat. That's the whole thing. We don't know
Okay,
what was on the
heroin,
boat.
whatever it
We don't know
is.
what was on the boat.
Well, you just said you concede to it being drugs, but
Yeah, drugs.
you
But this thing is, like, you're trying to make it about fentanyl or
okay,
heroin,
even if it was
and the
something that
reality
was
is
legal,
that
like MJ, even if it was
because your
MJ, should we be
president
funding
because
cartels and
your
should we be
president
funding
but
murderers?
your president is the exact person who said blow them up. They were going to stop that ship in the water, as they should. No, he's like, no, blow them up, and they did.
Yeah, that's making a good example. We should not be, what about the countries? What about China? What about all these countries that are so safe and clean because they kill people that sell drugs or do drugs? You're gonna discredit them and say, "Oh, their societies are messed up."
No,
Dude,
not
China
even a
has a
little bit.
really good.
That is absolutely their culture and rock and roll. I'll never step foot into that country, not 1 second.
I mean, you don't have to. They don't. I mean, if you're doing those kinds of activities, they probably don't want you.
No, even if I would never go to a lot of African countries because they criminalize homosexuality. It has nothing to do with being part of it. I don't like injustice. I'm not going to Arizona either.
Why? What's in Arizona?
Arizona, they want to in Phoenix, they were rounding up all the homeless people, putting them into this area called the zone, and they simultaneously had a campaign to decrease the population of the zone. So it was basically a
How the hell is that a
depopulation
depopulation? That's giving the area for the homeless.
because they wanted to reduce the population of the homeless
They put
people.
them in one specific area. How is that reducing the population?
Because they had two simultaneous campaigns: move everyone to the zone. This is part of the DOJ report on the Phoenix PD. So the campaign was to move everyone to the zone, and then simultaneously the campaign to reduce the population in the zone.
What do you mean reduce the population? You can't
So they
murder
were
people. That's
we
illegal.
want less people living here.
Yeah, they're gonna probably help them try to get off the streets, my guy.
Yeah, and under threat of arrest. Like, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah,
That's the whole thing. Is that
homeless
you think
is
that
illegal in many states.
you conservatives think that all means are good means to a good
I
end.
mean, dude,
It's not
even in
even a good end. It's
California,
like a
I'm pretty sure
Christian.
it's illegal to be homeless. That's why they pull. That's why
It's
they move
definitely not
people.
illegal to be homeless. That's why they can't criminalize. That's why there's no homeless statutes.
I mean, there's
It's
homeless. There's always been homeless statues
No,
someplace
there aren't.
somewhere.
No, there aren't. There are unauthorized tent use statutes.
Yeah,
There
that
are
kind of shit. That's what I'm saying.
but that's not the same as being homeless. Being homeless is not having a place to call your address.
Okay, a lot of that would make a lot of celebrities and Americans homeless that are
Exactly.
doing well.
Exactly. So like it goes back to loitering laws. Laws are largely seen to be unconstitutional. We still have them on the books. It's just outdated thinking.
I don't know how I feel about loitering laws. That's a touchy subject.
Yeah.
I do think that some people just freaking stand in front of stores all day for no reason, and they're taking up. I mean, first off, it's a private business, so how is that against our constitutional rights? That's my one thing. I mean, sure,
Yeah.
if it's a public place, if it's a public place, okay, fine, whatever. But if it's a privately owned business, why should I let you stand in front of my business all day just because you want to?
The point was it was during the Great Depression. People didn't have jobs, and so they were sitting outside. So they start loitering laws during the Great Depression. So it's all about pushing people into being part of the economy. The problem is that not every single person needs to be involved in the economy, and forcing people to work has unforeseen consequences. Some of those
Dude, you're
unforeseen
not forced to
consequences,
work. You can go live out in the forest. And what consequences?
the consequences of forcing people to work,
Dude, there's never
higher
been
health.
consequences to force people to work.
Yes.
You have two options: either be homeless and live out in the middle of the woods, or live a good life and work hard. But someone said, "Where do celebrities get their mail delivered to?" My guy, I have no clue. They have a PO box. You can have a PO box and have no home address.
Yeah. But I don't think that making trying to stimulate an economy through forced servitude is just inhumane in
But it's
general.
not forced servitude. You're not forced to work.
That's
Like
that's the whole conservative ideology
you're only
is
forced to
is
work if you
rugged
want a good quality of
individualism.
life.
Rugged individualism. While I pay
Yeah.
for your gas, I pay for your food, I pay for your childcare, I pay for your education,
Well,
but
talk
then
to the taxpayers about that. If you're complaining about that stuff, that's ultra right wing talk you're talking about.
it's just I'm not complaining about paying for it. I'm complaining about you having this not you specifically, but conservatives that are rugged individuals having
Dude, the
this
people that are against people getting subsidized programs or subsidized gas, if you're against subsidies, you're ultra right wing. That's not like an average Trump supporter. That's not an average conservative even. That's like, dude, that's like more right wing than Nick Fuentes. Like that's what the level you're talking about right now.
no Nick Fuentes was like against literal like protected classes.
Yeah, I know, but he's on that level of of being on the right wing. Like
Well,
he's
let me
ultra
ask you a
right
big
wing.
question. If it costs for every dollar in gas that I spend, if it costs the government $7, and then Amazon buys 30 billion gallons of gas and pays $0 in taxes, do you see how that could lead into a problem?
I mean, don't they pay gas? I mean, what do you mean? Don't you pay
So
gas taxes?
no, that's the problem. So that we pay taxes, and the taxes go towards gas subsidies, which keep the cost of gas low so the economy can run based on this concept that we need everyone in cars
Okay,
driving
doesn't
these
Amazon
2 hour
have
commute.
you shopped with Amazon recently? Why are you complaining about how
Because
they
I'm
get
trying to tell you
discounts on
that
their
is
gas?
the gas subsidies are a big problem with the budget.
Dude, I don't know much about gas subsidies, like I already told you, but that's honestly not a big problem with the budget. The most thing that we spend money on out of everything is Social Security, and if you don't think that there's fraud there, I mean, I think that's a problem.
Well, I mean, I if there's fraud there, I implore you to do the investigations yourself, because I don't think anyone's going to actually do anything but speculate on that.
I mean,
And
there
we
has
need
been investigations done. That's exactly why some workers have been fired, and that's exactly why there's cuts.
Okay, so but that's the thing is that so then what we're saying is that we already have all the fraudsters out of here. You're saying
I
there's
mean, no,
still
I don't
fraud.
think we do. I don't think we do. We spend
Okay,
more on social.
then go prove it. Then go stand for the First
Well,
Amendment,
that's Doge's job. Doge is still around.
and that's why it's not getting done, because people
It
like
is
you and
getting
me.
done. We had a huge bill. We did a
It's not.
bunch of cuts.
It's not. These people, all they're trying to do is change around the pieces on the board. They're not trying to reduce any kind of
So the
spending
hundreds
whatsoever.
of billions, or the hundreds of, I don't know what the exact figures are, but let's just say hundreds of billions that were cut for Social Security didn't do anything. Like, what are you talking about?
So what I'm trying to say is that a gas subsidy is going to do a lot more to be in you have to look at the quantity of America which is engaging in the behavior. All right? So everyone is buying gas. Everyone is not on social security. It doesn't make sense that a minority of the people
But
are
you know
their
what the number
economic
one
habits
government
are more
spending is? It's Social
significant
Security.
than the economic behaviors of the majority. The economic behaviors of the
So what's your
majority
point with
are
this gas tax or with your gas subsidies? Like, why do you keep bringing that up? I don't understand.
what I'm trying to say is that you guys are socialists. Anyone that
We're
drives
not
a car is a
socialist. Our
socialist.
country is
You're a
not
socialist.
socialist. We have social
If you
programs.
drive and you have no problem with the price you're paying for gas, you love socialism, because that's what a subsidy is.
Do you know what socialism is? Because that's
A
not what
subsidy.
socialism
A
means.
subsidy is a
No,
when the
that's not what socialism is.
yes it
That's a
is.
social program that's involved with socialism. What's the definition of socialism?
Subsidies.
It's when the government owns the means of production. I mean, the government doesn't own the gas companies. So, I mean,
So the means of production would be communism. Socialism is when
look up
taxpayer money
socialism.
is
Go on,
shared.
pause this video right now and look up what socialism is. Because I
I
had
will.
this argument with someone, and they said, "Intel, it's socialism." And I
So
explained to them the
how do you want me
definition
to
of
define
socialism.
social? What authority do you want me to use?
I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm pretty sure all the Webster dictionaries, all of them. I mean, from what I read about socialism, it says when the government owns the means of production.
It does say that. It does say
So
that.
it
So
does
I've
say
always
that.
learned that as the definition of communism.
What'd you say?
I've always learned that definition as communism.
But it does say that for socialism, correct?
It does say that on Google.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says
Okay.
on
There we
Google
go.
for
Everyone's commenting in the comments saying that's communism, dumbass. I mean, dude, I know about the definitions of words. I researched these words. What's taxation? I mean, I'm not gonna disavow what you said. I do think that we have some programs that are similar to socialism, but to say that we live in a socialist government is insanity to me.
is what props up your lifestyle. Don't you drive?
Not really, but yeah. No, I'm just kidding. I do drive.
Okay.
But yeah, I know. I'm not
Okay, you
against public
drive.
roads, dude. Like I said, we have social programs. Okay, I'm not against subsidies. Does the government own the gas companies? Do they own the gas companies? Oh, you're freezing
We
again.
apply that to the cost of gas to make gas more
Okay, what's your
affordable to
point?
average people.
These are programs that work in our country. These are programs that work around the world. That doesn't fit the definition of
You need
socialism.
taxpayer dollars to be able to drive. You without taxpayer dollars,
I mean,
without
what about
other people's
electric
money,
vehicles? What are you going to
you
say
don't.
about that? What if I drive an electric car? What if I drive a Tesla? Then what?
Yeah, I mean, there's tons of subsidies for electric vehicles too. That's the whole point. Is that our whole society is
Yeah,
propped up
there's
by socialism.
subsidies to help improve business. Like that's exactly what they're there for. They're actually they're not
Exactly.
socialism. They're actually more pro capitalism because they're improving the
That's
businesses.
the point I'm trying to make.
But
Is
no,
that
the point you said was that
pure
they're
capitalism will
socialist.
never work. Pure capitalism, pure individualism will
But
never
pure
work.
socialism never works either.
Exactly. That's why we have a
We have a
mixture of
mixed
all of it.
economy, my guy. This is not an argument.
Exactly. So that's why I'm glad that we're talking, because the reality is that together we are way stronger. But when we try to make it out that one party has all the ideas, that's the problem that we have. Charlie Kirk would have never been. I mean, that's the thing, is that he pushed his side, but I don't think that his point was conservatism. I think his point was discourse. I think that there was a censorship of the right. I agree with that. There was a massive censorship of the right. I grew up in the 90s. I knew what it was like to be a conservative in the 90s. You guys were not cool. Republican was a dirty, dirty, dirty word for a long time. So I don't disagree that there was censorship of the right. With that being said, I don't think that the right has many of the answers that we need in life.
Dude, like I said, it's a mixed economy. I kind of see your point with the, subsidies, but like you're not telling me anything I know. You're not telling me anything I don't know. You're not telling me anything that I would argue with. You still can't make a valid point of why people should not have incentives to, work and function in society. Like I
They
said, it's
do.
not forced labor. It's not forced. You don't have to. You can move to another. There's many options. You can move to another country where there is socialism or communism fully, or you can live in the woods. I mean, there's so much stuff you can do, man. Like you can't say it's forced working because I don't want someone to live off our taxpayer dollars their entire life when they don't benefit anyone, including themselves.
I don't know that that person accepting government benefits is a benefit to the economy.
How do I know that they're not or they are?
I can't prove that someone is or is not. There's no way for me as a voter to ascertain that someone is economically relevant by looking at them.
Well, the facts are that, I hate to say this, I'm not trying to offend half of America. How can a homeless person go to another country? Bro, there's ways. I mean, they travel around all around the country. Dude, they travel around. You know what the word, what was the word that they used? I'm trying to think of the word. It was when they were on back of trains, they used to run together. Hobos. Yeah, that word hobo has a long history of it. And, I forget the history of it, but it's very interesting. Maybe you know
Yeah.
about it?
Yeah,
But
so they were the working class that would travel.
something like that. They would do. I wouldn't say working class, but they would work. They
They
would
were.
work.
They were. Because if you were a bum, you didn't have a job. If you were a hobo, you would work.
Yeah, you would just be on the train. You'd be going around the country. But how can a homeless person go to another country? I don't know, my guy. How can a homeless person go from Florida to California? You tell me that. But like, you can literally take, probably some kind of public transportation and get to Canada.
So DOA is saying that welfare and Social Security isn't socialism. It is. But he's saying you pay in with your taxes to get these programs,
Dude,
but they're
yes, you can't even say that about Social Security, dude. That's like a program funded by, the person that paid Social Security taxes for 40, 50, 60 years.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that Trump is wrong for manipulating the tax code, or not manipulating it, but implementing the tax code to his benefit? As
What do
he
you mean
said, stated,
implementing it to his benefit? You mean giving every single
no, no.
class
I
of
mean,
working people tax
not
reductions? Do I
paying
think that's
taxes.
bad?
Was he like he said it to Hillary Clinton? He was smart for not paying taxes. Do you
He said
disagree?
that let me use the exact quote. He said he's using the same tax laws that Hillary Clinton and her friends are using.
Exactly.
No, I don't think that's immoral. I think that, taxation without representation is more immoral.
So you think that they should pay?
No, I said I don't think it's I don't think it's morally wrong to not to use the tax laws to your advantage. You're just using the legal framework that they give you.
Amen. It's all fair, man. It's all fair. If I can figure out how to use the system to my benefit, I don't see why other people shouldn't be allowed to. I don't get that. I don't get why some
I
people
mean,
are
you are
allowed
allowed to. There's no
or
there's
some
no one
people are
stopping
allowed
you,
to
but that doesn't
profit
mean I can. Just
from
like
their
people will
taxes, and some
criticize
people
him for that.
are a thing. I understand that the system requires that people don't get that people have a trade deficit with the government, so to speak, right? Like they give more to the government than they get back, right? But I think that
Yeah,
should be
like I argued before, I think people that have two or three kids going to public schools, if you're an average salaried American and you have four kids going to public schools, I don't think that you're giving more to the government than they're giving you. Not to mention, every single American that pays into Social Security, 99.9% of these people get less money in Social Security throughout their rest of their lifetime than they paid in the first place. They're paying more into Social Security than they'll ever receive back. Would you
which is
agree with that?
necessary. If the
It's
econ that's
necessary to fund other people's Social Security that,
no for it to but for it to continue. If we're gonna have the program continue, we must have a surplus, or at least we must be in the black at the very least.
what systems, what are you guys saying? Correct, you got like 6 to 8,000. What are you talking about? What does that even mean, Kenny? If you guys have any comments, questions for us, drop some super chats.
I like this guy. Dylan Bly says that they have to increase the long-term capital tax. I totally agree with that.
I totally, totally disagree. I think it should be. I think it should be. I can agree on other taxes being raised, but capital gains tax is not one of them, my friend. Not when you're risking your money to invest in public corporations that could go bankrupt. You should not have to pay more taxes for taking risks. When you take risks like that, you deserve the minimal amount of taxes possible, dude. There's a whole reason why capital gains taxes only go up to 20 something%, and
Don't you think that fiduciary responsibility inherently leads to lower wages? So a company has the responsibility to maximize their
yeah, that's why
shareholders.
there's laws around this.
Okay, so
And
doesn't
that's
that
why if you're
inherently
if you're
make
providing
wages
more.
lower?
No, because if you bring a
It
lot of
does.
value to the company and the corporation, and you bring a lot of money in, and you can't be replaced, then no, you can. A person that can't be replaced, that brings true value in the marketplace, can charge anything they want. We've seen this time after time. There are burger flippers that are millionaires. There are people doing the most simple tasks that are millionaires because they can't be replaced. They're really, really good at what they're doing.
With that being said, the history of America states in the Fair Labor Standards Act that is inherent to the corporate structure that wage suppression occurs. So they're saying that
Do I think it occurs?
because
Yes. Do I think that
as a
companies will?
caused by the corporate structure. This is the
No.
Fair Labor
I mean, I'm
Standards
not
Act.
going to sit here and blame the free market. No.
I'm not
If
blaming
you're
the free market. It's the corporate structure. The corporate structure inherently causes wage suppression. It
no,
is a function of the corporate structure
no. If you want to
that
get more
wages be
money,
low.
dude, America. The reason people always ask me, they say, what is the reason that America is great? Is it because we don't have healthcare? Like they make jokes, we don't have free healthcare, yada yada yada. We don't have this, we don't have that, or is it because we have the highest salaries, which we don't have the highest salaries, but we do have very high salaries compared to a lot of countries. But that's not. None of those things are the reason. The reason is because, dude, you can move up the ladder so much. Like I've lived in other countries before. Like I lived in Spain for a couple years. I've lived in other European countries before, and
What
dude,
part
like
of Spain?
America, huh?
What part of
Barcelona,
Spain? That's so
Barcelona.
cool. My dad grew up part of his life in Barcelona.
Yeah, I really like Barcelona, but
Barcelona's beautiful.
yeah, it is beautiful. But they have also a little bit of homeless and crime problem right now. But that's a whole other issue.
Trash everywhere in some parts.
Yeah, no, trash everywhere. It's kind of disgusting, and it's
Yeah,
the new mayor
but
is fucked
it's
up.
cool.
But
It's like a vibe. It's a vibe though. I like it.
yeah, no, it's nice. It's nice to travel there and visit there. But yeah, no. What I was saying, the reason is America is so good isn't because of all these political, social reasons that they try to give. I mean, this is kind of political, social reason, but it's because people can like move up the ladder so quickly. Like, dude, there's so many jobs that you can find out there to make six figures. Like, if you really, really wanted to, if you don't care what job you do, if you don't care about like what work you do, if you're willing to do any kind of work and you want to make money, then dude, there's so much stuff that you can do in America. Like you can go out work in an oil field, you can go work in an oil drill in the middle of the ocean, you can become a truck driver, you can make six figures that way. You can start a new business. You can do a bunch of different things. Like you create content, you can do this, you can do that. Like, dude, there's so many opportunities, and like the taxes are so low, and like it's hard to come up. Like if you actually have a business, if you're successful one time, I know a lot of people were born with money, my guy. I know that a lot of money out there is generational wealth, and I'm not really a fan of those people not paying their fair share. But people that like came up from nothing, that people that didn't have any help whatsoever, and they finally get a chance at making $1 million, I don't think they should be taxed 61% or 71% or some shit like that. Like
How
that
much are
just
they making
seems
a year?
a
I
million
mean,
dollars.
$1 million. Oh man, that's so tough. It's like so. What you're saying is that $400,000.
The highest tax bracket, I believe, is
How,
36 or 38%.
how should we determine income tax? Oh, what is the basis for income tax?
Well, first off, the highest tax bracket, I believe, is 36 or 38%. But if you add up state taxes and if you add up all the other taxes they pay in somewhere like California, sometimes the effective tax rate would be around 50 to 61% in California. That is unjust of the government to take more than half of your money. Would you agree? Like pretend like you're a poor person. Would you want a poor person to have half of their money taken by the government so they can fund a person living in Section 8? Because dude, that is criminal to me.
I am a when it comes to economy, I'm a gamesman. So I'm looking at the numbers. I would never make a decision about money based on like ideology. So
Dude, it
so
doesn't
if
even matter.
so
Like if you're making $1 million a year, a lot of left wing
then
people
then
will
I have
say,
then I have $400,000 a year. I mean,
but dude, no, listen, listen. That's what you're missing. You're just looking at the pure numbers, dude. Like I know people that make $500,000 a year. I know people that make $1 million a year. Some people that are making this much money, they still live paycheck to paycheck because they have so much overhead. They have so much family to take care of. They have so many bills. It's ridiculous. Like the number alone is not what makes you financially free, my guy. Like that's where some of these liberals and Democrats, whoever out there, needs to become a little bit financially literate. You can be making $2 million a year and you can still be living paycheck to paycheck. What if you have a sickly mother? What if everyone in your family needs help? Like, what if like they need medical help? What if you have so many people and family that you're taking care of? What if you have a business with so much overhead? You have so much stuff to do. Like, I know many business owners that are like this. Like, dude, like people are paying so much freaking money for taxes, and they have all these family members and all this stuff to take care of. Like, dude, you can still be living paycheck to paycheck with like, especially in California, if you're making $1 million, okay, you're left with $400,000 a year. Now you got rent or you got a mortgage. That's about 120,000, 150,000 a year. Now you're down to $260,000 a year. You're probably spending, if you have a lot of family, and a lot of friends and a lot of people that need shit, dude, you can spend 100 grand on groceries. Now you're down to $160,000 a year. Now you gotta pay you gotta, pay for all this other stuff. For your kids, your wife, your grandma's hospital bills, your mom's hospital bills. Okay, let's say that's 60 grand. Um, and then that money's gone, and then and then now you got 100 grand left, and now you got a bunch of other ridiculous bills and shit that you gotta pay, and it's just like the money goes so quickly when you're like running at that such high of a level. Like, it's just insanity. But let me read this comment. Is
Yeah,
Trump not being demonized for trying to minimize these free programs?
but
Yeah, he
he's
is being demonized.
but he's not actually doing it in good faith. He is benefiting so much from the office.
We can talk about that too. Would you agree that Trump went into office in 2016? He had a net worth of $5 billion, and in 2021 or whenever he left office, he
It inflated $5 billion based on real estate.
okay. Well, this is just a net worth value. I mean, you can
Yeah,
argue that this net worth is
it's but
fake.
it's obviously fraudulent though.
Okay, well, do you believe in net worth, or do you believe in these numbers, or do you just think they're all fake?
I think that the court documents show that he grossly inflates the values of his properties,
Well,
which
okay,
is
but
which is
this
very
isn't his
average to be honest
dude.
with
He's
you.
not
That
writing.
is
This
that
is
is ordinary to do
but
in
okay.
America.
Listen, Forbes is not taking Trump's word on his property value. They're drawing their own numbers.
And they're saying 5 billion with like some kind of conservative value on it.
Yes, but this isn't even like the point. The point is that if you look at the numbers, if you look at the statistics, it doesn't matter about the net worth. Just forget about the number for a second. During his first term, he lost half of his net worth. He went from 5 billion to 2.4 billion.
Hmm.
Now you can say these numbers are fake, but if you say these numbers are fake, then you can't really say that he's profiting off of it because you don't know what's happening on the backside. Like, I don't know what to tell you. If you say the numbers are fake, you can't really say that he's profiting. But if
I'm
you
just
say,
saying. I'm saying that there are court documents that say he inflates the prices of his real
yeah,
estate.
okay, we get it. He got a felony for quote unquote something the bank said that he didn't even do,
And
but
I
we get
mean,
it.
the reality is that behavior is commonplace in the real estate game. Everyone that I know in real life fucking inflates the shit out of the values of their properties for loan purposes.
Well, I used to work in real estate, and I can tell you right now that when you're getting your house appraised by an appraiser, that shit that they're telling you, dude, that is 90% of the time, in my personal opinion, I think is bullshit. The appraisals are like, they have to give you an appraisal so the bank can insure your house. The appraisals that the appraisal people are giving are overinflated. So to say that he overinflated it, I don't know if that's true, but
I
maybe the
think I
appraisal
think
value is.
appraisal. What do you think about this? Should appraisal be state sponsored?
I don't know, dude. I don't know why that would even matter because at the end of the
Because
day,
because look because we see the fraud that's going on in the real estate market. We see the appraisals that are being inflated for no reason. That they're underinflating prices of minorities, or they're deflating the prices of assets owned by minorities. It's
okay, let me talk
obvious.
about this for a second. I don't think that they are going to be under, inflating appraisal values. Let me
They
explain it to you
do. We
why.
know that's true. We know that's
No,
true.
you want me to explain it to you why it's not true? Would you like me to or no? Or are you
I
just gonna say it is true? I mean, it might be true when you go to sell your house, like when someone comes to appraise it then, but the initial appraisal value, like the initial one that they do to appraise your house so you can get property insurance, so the bank can, because if you get a mortgage, you need property insurance. So the bank has to have like two reasons. First off, the majority of appraisals, in my personal opinion, the reason that they're way over the actual value of the house is because so the bank can protect their investment in your property with their mortgage loan. They want to make they want to make the appraisal way higher than the actual value of the house because if anything ever happens or if you don't pay them, then you got that huge debt hanging over your head, or they can get their money back, or if something does happen to the house, they know that you can fix it because it's insured, and the insurance companies have to pay this amount of money to fix this, that, the third. But if you're talking about minorities or whatever, when they go to sell their house, they get less money. I'm not going to argue with you with that because there are appraisals done after the house is
so
insured sometimes, and some people will ask for that when you're going to sell your house. But let's see what this guy says. Why does he make his staff pay for housing when he travels to the resorts with federal funding? What resorts does he travel to? His own resorts?
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about either.
And
So
also, what do you mean his staff pay for housing? I don't know what you mean, like pay for housing. How do they pay for housing? Don't they stay with him, dude? I don't know how that works. I don't research this kind of shit.
yeah, that's a little bit too. That's a little bit too like behind the scenes for anyone to know.
How about the houses BlackRock owns, dude? I think we could probably agree on that. BlackRock is a horrible corporation. Mar-a-Lago, dude, he owns Mar-a-Lago. What are you talking about? The resorts he goes to, that's his house. Mar-a-Lago is his house. So I don't know what you mean by that. Scotland? I don't know where he stayed in Scotland, honestly. I'm not educated on that.
I wouldn't go in public if I were you. These guys are doing anything against the people they agree with. Yeah, shut the fuck up. Come do it.
Oh my god, I feel the same way. But
Come fucking do
someone
it.
said with all his houses and security and staff. Well, can we talk? Let's pretend a what if. I'll give you a what if scenario, YouTube guy. If if his staff and his security has to pay for their own housing, I mean, do you think that do you honestly believe that he underpays his employees? Because I've never seen any document saying Trump underpays anyone. I mean, don't you think that would be like in the front of the news?
Yeah,
Oh,
fuck
Trump
you
paid me
too.
25 grand to do this, dude. I don't think he does that.
Sorry.
Unsubscribing, dude. You were never subscribed in the first place. I don't give a damn
I
if
want to
you're a
fight.
hater.
I want to fight that guy. I'm not gonna lie. I like he got me there. He's like trying to warn me that I'm being unsafe. Okay, all right, but there. So what's going on in the real estate market, in my opinion, is a collusion between the banks, the appraisers, and the owners, and the
Okay,
effect
do we agree so far?
and
Continue.
the effect of that are over and over a bubble of housing bubble. What we have right now, the housing bubble. So there
I
needs
think
to
I would
be
say, in my opinion, that
government
I think there is a housing bubble,
involvement.
but at the same time, there's also like a 50% chance that prices never get lower, and there's never like a burst of the bubble. But
Well,
that's neither here nor
I
there.
don't think that necessarily we should lower prices, because I think that 401ks correlate very strongly with housing prices, and that if we were to reform housing prices in some sort of way without the economic backing for it, or the economic, reasoning behind it, it could hurt a lot of people that have no other way to get around it.
I'm not gonna necessarily say that that's true or false, but I will say 401ks. Oof, Jesus Christ, holy cow! Thank you for that super chat, man. Holy
Whoa!
shit, dude. Really, I
Whoa!
really appreciate that. Holy cow.
Whoa! You
The
gotta
wheel
read
of
that.
the wheel of hatred will only ever breed more. The only salvation is personal reflection. We look outwards naturally, but the world is built with the collective sleeves. If we all commit to predicating our actions on love to our fellow men, that will ripple and save the world. No parties. I agree, my guy. He doesn't like
Amen.
Trump. I like this guy. He has some
Amen.
interesting ideas. He has some interesting comments and debate topics. And
The
it doesn't matter about political affiliation. We got to stop the hatred. That's why I like having you on, my guy. Like a lot of people just won't stop screaming their lungs about emotional sides. You're like one of the people that actually is smart enough to talk about policies and ideas instead of talking about like
God bless you.
whataboutism and all this kind of bullshit.
Well, the
Uh,
difference between me and them is I'm actually out here fighting. I'm not out
hell yeah,
here.
man.
I'm not out here just talking just to talk. I'm actually like getting charged with crimes. I'm really going to aldermen's meetings. I'm really talking to mayors. So all these people that yap and yap and yap, I hope that know we can see how soft your hands are. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of those, 18, 19-year-old kids that are saying that still live at home. They don't pay any real bills. They don't pay their own cell phone bill. I'm not really a fan of these guys acting like they're political activists, like they're somehow changing the world by screaming Epstein a million times into a camera or by screaming at another person over their political opinions. I mean, come on, my guy. The YouTube guy says he charges the federal budget for his staff to stay at his hotels. This is federal public info. Why do we have
Oh
he
yeah, yeah,
charged
yeah, yeah,
thought he
yeah.
was for the people?
Yeah, that's true. I think that is true. Yeah,
I don't know if that's true or false. I'd have to
it
do my
is
research.
somewhat true. He's probably getting it a little bit wrong, but yes, we are paying for a lot of the people to stay, or we're paying for Secret Service to stay at Mar-a-Lago.
Okay, no. Here's the question. People at the hotel have to be employed, right? How do they get employed? I mean, yeah, he has money, but if the government would already here's the argument. But I'm not going to say if this is right or wrong morally. If he does that, I probably would say I disagree with that. I don't think that's right. But the argument would be, of course, that well, okay, the government pays for other housing and it pays for other kinds of like if it was another hotel, if it was the Hilton hotel, they'd say no problem, that's fine. But the fact that, it's Trump's hotel, they say it's wrong. And at the end of the day, I mean,
It's
I'm not saying,
because
like I said, I disagree with this,
it's
but
I forgot
if
what
it's
the clause
true,
is called. It's not the enumeration clause. There's a clause that says that we should not benefit from office. Uh, I mean, Trump has walked all over that. Trump is benefiting from office so much in the billions of dollars,
I
and
disagree with that. Like I said, with those first numbers, I mean, that just doesn't seem like that adds up to me. And if that was the case, would you admit that Biden also, I think Biden made a lot of money off the presidency, and so did Obama, but that's neither here nor there. Like, I don't really, I'm not really one for to argue about that, but like, I think Biden. No offense, but I think Biden and Obama needed the money a lot more than Trump did. That's just my main argument here. But also, in that Trump lost half of his net worth in his first term, so. And also, all the people saying that Trump's net worth went up, dude, you got to acknowledge this too. 50% of that, no, probably 80% of that money is literally from a meme coin, and that's an assumption. He doesn't even have that money liquid, dude. That's not even a real asset. Let's be honest. A meme coin, a joke of a coin, like that is a. I mean, you can call it whatever you want, but that at the end of the day is a what's the word for it? It's just like
a grift.
it's oh yeah, you can use a grift, but
It's a
it's not
grift.
something that should be. It's like a novelty. That's not the word I was going to use. It's a novelty. It's a novelty. My best
Yes.
guess is federal employees would be reimbursed for their lodging expensive if you jack up the rate and claim actual cost, and you have additional profits. I'll drop you a like. I'm not going to say that's not true or false because I have heard that he has charged them. I do believe this is true. I do believe that Trump has, told people that are coming to visit the United States. He said, "Oh yeah, you come stay at my hotel," and then I think he jacks up the rates for them. But what is that? That's just smart business, in my opinion. And also, like I said, at the end of the day, if his businesses are making money, doesn't that put profits into families that are working for him? Like, you might not like capitalism, you might be more of a socialist guy, but dude, if businesses get paid, that means people get paid. When
I
businesses go out
think
of business, people don't get paid.
I think that we need a capitalist facade, but the reality of our economy is socialism.
We need a capitalist facade.
Facade.
I mean, I
We need,
think we do have one.
yeah,
I
that's
don't think
basically
we're
what
a
we have.
socialist economy.
We pay for everything, but everything's subsidized to some extent.
Okay, but we already talked about the definition of socialism. But I really appreciate that, Belly Coast 20. I really appreciate these super chats.
Yeah,
Really thoughtful.
really good insight. I agree with
Yeah,
that.
really thoughtful insight.
Yeah, really good actually.
Stop trying to justify Trump's profit through presidency through job creation. Well, I mean, like I said, if he's doing all this stuff that you claim, I would say I'm against it. But I'm not going to sit here and lie. I would still vote for him even if he did that kind of shit. I mean, like, I think he's that much better than Kamala would have been. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. Can't be cool every day.
It's a blend between socialist and capitalism. I mean, to be honest with you, I think that's majority of countries nowadays. But I wouldn't even say socialism. I would say that we're a capitalist society with socialist programs. Well, not even socialist. The word I use is social programs.
If we didn't have socialism, I don't think that we would
Once
like
again, we don't have socialism, but
it.
continue.
So a subsidy is taxpayer dollars going to price controls. Both of
Yes,
those
but
things are
that's not
socialism.
even
Price
in the
controls
definition in
and
socialist.
subsidies and
But
taxpayer
dude, that's
dollars.
not even in the definition of socialism. Like, we've been over this.
Let me go back to that then. Let's talk about that. So the
Like,
thing of
please.
socialism is you're saying that the
We don't
means of
own the
production, but
means
it's
of
not just that.
productions.
It's regulation of the means. It's not just ownership of the means alone. It's the regulation.
Buy Bitcoin? Dude, I don't have enough money to buy Bitcoin.
I had Bitcoin back at 40,000. I sold it.
Damn.
I sold it at 65.
Damn.
All right, social ownership of the means of production. Okay,
If you're a socialist, you shouldn't be buying Bitcoin.
this was way back. What was I doing back in? That was 2020, 2021. I was taking care. I was doing family shit back then, but I was making money. I was doing good.
I have no opinion as to whether it is right or wrong, only if the system is vulnerable to exploitation and is likely to be exploited.
And if it's likely to be exploited, we should make laws. I don't think that we need to
But
wait.
you don't believe in, you don't believe there's such thing as exploitation for people that are living on a welfare and they don't want to work hard.
Well, the
You don't think
question
that's
is that how are we proving that there is bad faith, fraud, or whatever, right? Like I don't
so
not
you
even
don't believe there's government fraud is what your
it's not what
claim
I'm saying.
is.
I'm saying that government fraud happens, but if we allow all of this discourse to occur from government reports, we both know how that's going to play out, right? We need investigative independent journalism, and that's how we're going to solve
Okay,
this
okay, I
problem.
agree.
So then that means that people like you and I are going to have to, and people in the chat are going to have to get out there, and we're going to have to piss off some people by exercising our rights. There's no way around that, in my opinion. And I don't think that the conservatives really support that because it may come from the viewpoint of dissent, but the reality is it's discourse.
Dissent, I mean, we don't really care about dissent. I don't really know what you mean by that thing. Like, how is private corporations or private individuals investigating government dissent? I mean, most
So
people agree. Even doesn't matter if you're Democrat,
I'm going to
Republican.
court because I wanted to talk on YouTube about a sign. There was a sign in the courthouse lobby, and that sign was a restriction on the First Amendment right. Uh, blah blah blah. Right. So I want to talk about it. That's all I wanted to do. So I took a picture of it. I am still going to court for that. Over 2 years later, so it was May in 2023. Um, they arrested me because they think that I want to, punish people in the courthouse or I want to control people in the courthouse. No, I want to talk about it. And the best way to talk about something on YouTube is with images. So the a lot of people in the Conservative Party right now look at these protests as dissent. And I think that it's discourse. I think that
I don't agree with that. You want to know my opinion about this? Like, listen, I don't care if you protest or whatnot, but if you're causing violent actions, if you're setting cars on fire, if you're looting stores, wouldn't you say that's not a good thing to do? I'm fine if you want to protest ICE, that's fine, but if you're harming people, shooting them in the neck, or you
no one's
know,
defending violence or destruction of property.
no, I
I
know
won't.
you're not doing it. I know you're not doing it, but that's not the way I look at it. The conservatives aren't really like saying anything about, oh, they're looking down on us. I mean, some people are complaining that they're not following the federal laws, yeah, or that they're protesting federal laws, but I don't think they're looking down on them necessarily. I mean, some of them might be like, I don't really know, but from what I see, mostly people are like saying that they don't. For instance, they don't want the Chicago ICE protest to end up like the LA ICE protest, where there was a guy that was found dead on the side of the sidewalk that has barely ever been reported on. This was during the looting of an Apple store and some other phone stores. This man died. No one's talking about it. They got pushed under the rug. They never even really announced what happened. I mean, you can look this up yourself. It was in the New York Post. I mean, you can say, "Oh, fake news, blah blah blah," but
No.
dude, this is a real story. Like, someone died. Like, they talked about it for one day and then they pushed it under the rug. They never talked about this dude's death during the LA ICE riots. And like, I think it's fine. Like, go ahead, protest all you want. If you want to put the Mexican flag, I might not like that. I might disagree with that because if it's such a great place, if you don't like America so much, why don't you just go to your country? But it's fine if you want to do that. I have nothing wrong with doing that. But if you're like setting cars on fire, if you're like burning police cars, if you're throwing rocks at ICE and through their car windows, like, dude, I completely disagree with that. Like, that's insanity.
Okay,
Like,
but
same thing. Like,
you do think that
say
I
it was
should be
Democrat, say it was Republicans. If we were doing that, if MAGA or conservatives were, like, if we were like harming the people that are protesting the ICE rioters, like MAGA was, or conservatives were harming these protesters, dude, I would be like, no, fuck those people. That's horrible. Like, I'm
okay.
not
So
one
we're
sided
allowed
at
to
all.
organize. We're allowed to be in
Yes, I
public.
agree.
We're allowed
I
to
agree.
yell a little bit.
And I know it's a small percentage of them. I know it's not the majority of the ICE protesters getting violent, but dude, just the fact that there was like dozens of cars set on fire, burned to the ground during these protests, it's insanity.
There has to be a little bit of thick skin when it comes to violence in the process of discourse. I'm not saying that we need to be okay with it. I'm saying that when violence happens in the process of discourse, we can't throw the baby away with the bathwater. We gotta have thick skin a little bit.
I don't know, dude. I don't believe in thick skin is fine. No one is crying their eyes out that they burned cars, but at the end of the day, it is unlawful. People were arrested. People will be
Prosecute.
charged.
I agree. Prosecute the guys, but do
And
not
dude,
demonize
I
the
don't think, dude,
protest.
even stuff like burning cars. I wouldn't say that's violence. I would say that's more like destruction of property
Mm.
and like that is what's the word for it?
I accept that it's violent to the person who's losing their shit.
I
I
mean, yeah,
accept
it
that.
is violent but it's not like direct violence. It's maybe indirect violence because you don't know the owner of the car sometimes. I mean, the cop cars are different, so you know it's a police officer,
It's
but
intimidation. How about that?
yeah, okay, it's intimidation, but
Yeah, just as
it's
bad as
just not
violence.
right.
You know. But with that being said, um, I think that you know, like we're gonna have to. We're not gonna get out of this economic problem without pissing off a lot of people. Uh,
So what you're saying is you want like an overturn, a revolution, a violent change. I disagree with that.
No,
I
no,
don't
not at
think we
all.
need to.
Me personally, I want to see if you want to ask me how I would solve the problem. This is what I would do specifically. I would mirror a lot of the federal laws and mirror them in the state, and namely the laws which allow for remedies. So things like the ADA, the Fair Labor Standards Act, 18 U.S.
Let's explain some of these
Okay,
to people out there.
so the American Disabilities Act, Title II and Title III allow for what's called undue burden remedies. The same thing as a undue hardship exemption. So the government, if doing something like if to do a records request, will require them to read every single record that they've had for the last 20 years. That's called an undue hardship. And they wouldn't have to fulfill your records request because it's undue for them to have to go through that much trouble to
So you
do your.
believe that they should deny people's record requests?
They are allowed to, and you are allowed to deny any action which restricts you from accepting or from receiving government benefits when that's an undue burden, meaning that you cannot change the method in which individuals are to receive government benefits based upon them being disabled.
Yeah, okay, I agree with that.
All right. So we don't have any law for that in most states. That's a federal law. Another one would be Fair Labor Standards Act, collective bargaining. If someone interferes with collective bargaining in a lot of states, there's no recourse for that except for going to the federal district court. Okay, so that's the problem, in my opinion. I should be allowed to use the executive branch to generate a citation when there are constitutional violations in the legislature or the judiciary, and then vice versa. If there's a executive branch has a constitutional violation, we need to make it way easier to do
Okay.
things to have people charged with what's called deprivation of rights under color of law. What that will do is so here's my idea, right? In history, we have accepted your poor, your downtrodden, right? These are not as Trump puts it, the best that they're not sending their best, right? We have made it our economic policy to accept the dregs of other countries and incorporate in them into our economy. How do we incorporate them in our economy? In hard labor with very poor working conditions. Okay, so we basically took advantage of people, and that's how we built America. Okay,
I would say labor conditions have gotten better and better, but yes, I agree. But that's every country. That's how every country was built.
but
But
that's the point I'm
I
trying to
would like
make
to take
is that
two things before
sometimes
we get too far into the subject, if you don't mind.
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
First thing is, I want to address this comment that Bellicose 20 left, and I just really want to thank you again. I really appreciate those very insightful super chats and very large super chats. So I really, really appreciate that, my guy. I hope you subscribed. And also, I want to address this comment. Charlie said hypocritical statement, sure, but haven't we all? Yeah, I agree with that. I don't know exactly what he said. I wasn't the biggest, I don't know what hypocritical statements he said. I wasn't the biggest follower of Charlie Kirk. I did watch some of his debates. I did debate a guy literally 2 days ago. One day before Charlie died, I debated a dude that met Charlie in person and debated with him. And that dude said like he was more on the left leaning side, but he did have some crazy quote unquote right ideas. But I think a lot of left leaning people have some right conservative ideas here and there, just like everyone does. But I want to read the second comment too. We fight because we deeply desire control on a stage in which we have none, and letting go simply hasn't occurred to many. Okay, yeah, fair enough. But we're also just like political discussions and stuff like this. This is exactly what people like Charlie would have wanted, just to be peaceful with some discussions. But also now let me address with what you said. I do agree with you that we should take some of the federal laws and have them onto the state. But first off, don't the federal laws oversee the state laws? But I think the vice versa. We should have some state laws like constitutional carry. I think you believe in the Constitution. You sound like you'd be up for this. We should have constitutional carry in every single state. I really wish Trump would, or some kind of government leader would, push a law or a bill or an executive order to have constitutional carry in every single state in the country. Like we should be able to fly on a plane with our weapons from Florida to California or New York if we want.
So right now, the federal government, the Supreme Court said that all restrictions like gun permits are unconstitutional. So what's basically happening right now is you have uh, orders to the executive branch, namely the police departments, to arrest people based on possession of a weapon. Then you have instruction to the judiciary to dismiss all charges for. So what's happening is we have.
But they can still charge you at a state level just because the federal government says it's okay. The state can still say we're going to charge you.
So then your recourse is to
Okay,
take it
yeah,
to the
you got a
federal
point there.
judiciary. So instead of being able to handle it inside of the state, so here's the problem with this. Imagine that we have a secession. Imagine that certain states secede, and we no longer have a singular, or we no longer have access to the federal government.
California should secede since they pay so much in taxes.
Alabama should secede.
Oh my God, what do you have against Alabama?
I
Someone said
don't. I
concealed
don't. I don't.
carry.
I'm fighting back.
Concealed carry? Dude, constitutional carry means that, just for you out there that might not know what constitutional carry is, it means you can conceal carry your firearm or you can open carry your firearm without a license and without any need for government intervention. They have that in the state of Florida. It passed in 2023. But I'm not going to sit here and lie and say, oh, I wasn't concealed carrying before this. Dude, I was. I didn't have my permit. And they just finally passed that law, and now I don't have to worry about it anymore. So
Yeah,
it's
so
wonderful.
this guy disagrees with you saying that the federal government should write laws for the states. I don't think that's true. I think that the states should. I think it should be. I think right now the imperative is that we need more constitutionally based like structures and frameworks in states for the purpose of creating a narrative of constitutional crises. So we have constitutional crises are all over America. They're in your state, they're in my state, they're in every single state. It's a huge, huge, huge problem. But the only recourse we have is through federal district court. If you
But let
can't
me
get
let me sorry, but let me touch on this really quickly and then you can keep going. He said the federal government should take over the states. This guy's dumb as hell. Dude, I never said, like, I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean like the federal government should control everything in the state. Obviously, I believe there's state laws and there's federal government laws. What I meant is that, some federal laws, like he said previously, should become, state laws as well. Like, and some state laws should become federal laws. Like, that's the whole point that we're both making here. Like some federal laws should become state laws, some state laws should become federal laws. Let me move on to these two super chats really quickly and I'll let you finish. I think trained armed teachers and officers would stop school shootings. Schools are weapon free zones, which make them a target. I 100% agree.
it's
I
exactly
forget what state you're in, but in Texas, they do have some teachers that have firearms already. And, they protect. Look, in Texas, there are places where There are cities and places where in Texas teachers have. I've seen a video on YouTube. I don't know if you ever seen this video before, but the teacher has like there's a woman with like a 9 millimeter. It's a woman. Then there's like a man with a 45, and then the principal like pulls out like a 357. I'm like, damn.
But that's how it works, man. Like, look, that's the truth. Is that an armed citizen is a safe citizen? That's my opinion.
That's my opinion too. But people are making this Charlie Kirk thing as like saying, "Oh, we need less firearm. We need more firearm restrictions. We need more gun control." Dude, there was already gun control in the act. The only thing the gun control did was make sure none of the citizens could stop this dude. That's all it did. This guy violated multiple gun laws in both the state and the federal level. But let me read this one from our friend Belly Coast 20. My point is that people are casting stones when they have committed the same crimes, but no matter who is, a wife and kids don't deserve to see that. Dude, 100%. Like, dude, that dude's wife was there. His wife was watching him get assassinated, my guy. And these people are. I'm not saying, I'm not gonna use the word because I'm sick of saying that the Democrats, but dude, the leftists, the people that don't like Charlie Kirk, like the people that despise him, that didn't like his ideals, they are saying that they are worse. There's dude. Did you see the one video of the dude that stood up and started saying yes, yes? He was
Yeah,
celebrating it as he
I
was getting
think I
assassinated.
saw somebody. I think I saw a video that someone saw the murderer and kind of like turned around and walked away.
Yeah, I would believe it too, man.
That's so. Look, that's the thing. Is like people have the right to feel how they want and to act their truth, right? Like I can't say that, if you don't want to mourn for Charlie Kirk,
You don't have to mourn.
I get it.
I'm not gonna make you mourn, but I'm not gonna mourn for some of these people. But I'm also not gonna get on Twitter and start disrespecting their whole family and their whole legacy. That's disgusting.
I mean, but are we keeping the same energy with all of our people though? Like,
Yes, like if a Republican does this, yeah, I know certain Republicans out there, some
say some
senators, some stuff
vile
like that.
fucking shit. Say some vile shit.
Okay,
Some
like this, the people. I'll give an example of what people want to say, and I'll give you my personal opinions on it. So let me talk about the story first. So Nancy Pelosi's husband, Bill Pelosi, I believe his name is, he brought a man home when he was a male prostitute, and he brought him home, and in his car, he brought him home to his home, and then he ended up hitting him in the head with a hammer. Like, yeah, people were. Then they got caught in their underwear. Like, yeah, dude, I don't think it's right for those Republicans to laugh at him. But like, to be fair, I mean, the dude didn't die. First off, he's still making. I mean, I don't know how you feel about the Pelosi's, but apparently he didn't get hit hard enough in the head where he wasn't able to function because he's still like making a better stock trades than Warren Buffett. So apparently, he's all right. I guess mentally
well,
the dude.
having insider data is definitely going to help out.
Yeah, I know it. It's a little bit of a. It's a little bit of a.
Yeah, Pelosi's a fucking felon in my opinion. But anyways, yeah.
And like the dude didn't die. First off, the dude didn't die. Second off, like dude, that the story in itself was like actually entertaining. Like, oh, Nancy Pelosi's husband caught in underwear. He got hit in the face with a hammer. I mean, I don't
He
think
didn't get
it's
hit in the
right.
face.
It's fucked up.
The dude got clubbed. The dude got clubbed bad. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
He got,
fucked up that happened. I don't think any of the senators or like if some of Trump's family was poking at it, do I think that was right? No, I don't think that was right. I think that was fucked up that they said that. But did he die? No. Was he assassinated like on television? Was he assassinated in front of millions of people watching? No, he was not. So it's not really a comparable situation. And even if he was, that's just another about what aboutism. It's not about comparing this to that. It's the fact that people are openly celebrating his death and like praising it. Like that's the problem. Like it's not about what about this, what about that. It doesn't really matter that because there's like yes, okay, a couple Republicans might have said, look at Paul Pelosi, this situation is so funny. They might have poked at it a little bit. But was it literally the majority of Twitter, millions of users saying yay, celebrating it? No, it was not. It might have been a couple politicians, might have been a couple Republicans, but it wasn't going viral on Twitter with everyone making fun of him.
the reality is that online rhetoric is highly inflammatory on purpose. But I mean, what that
It
means.
is inflammatory. That's how you keep people looped in. If you're boring, if you're not dramatic, if you're not quote unquote rage baiting, then it doesn't keep people looped in. People will just forget your message and they'll move on.
This is true.
Or
Uh,
they won't want to talk to you, or they don't want to debate with you, or they don't want to have a conversation like me or you are having. I mean, I don't know originally how you saw me, but you were probably quote unquote rage baited, even though I don't think it's rage baiting. I probably said something that probably pissed you off a little bit. You're like, okay, I want to come on here and talk with this guy. That's most a lot of people do that, or they just see me and they're like, okay, Trump dude, let's have an open discussion and discuss ideas.
I know. I saw a certain calm. It's just I look for calm people, really.
Calm, you saw calmness.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I consider myself calm, but I mean, I can throw up a little bit of a show, quote unquote show
Well,
for
I mean,
entertainment. But
that's what it is. Is we're here trying to be able to have a conversation that's actually going to, you know, going to produce something. And it's not easy. It's not easy to do that. That's what I don't think people realize is that to have a conversation for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, hour and a half like that is incredibly difficult.
it is
And
difficult, and you know it's easy to pull a trigger and not think about someone's friends and family. It's easy to pull a trigger, but it's not easy to have a conversation like we're having.
exactly. Thank you,
Ooh,
Milliken.
man, thank you. Really appreciate that, my guy. You're really making my whole month with these. Holy shit. He said the gun violence was an acceptable consequence of the Second Amendment. It seems ironic, but we have all made hypocritical statements. I disagree with most of what he said, but being removed from the world for existing exercising free speech. Sorry.
Read that
Question
again,
mark?
man. Read
Huh?
that again.
Yeah, no kidding. He said that gun violence was an acceptable consequence of the Second Amendment. It seems ironic, but we all have made hypocritical statements. I disagree with mostly what he said, but being removed from the world for exercising free speech? Question mark? Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
That
you
is
gotta ask yourself
absolutely
these
terrible.
questions. You gotta ask yourself these questions, man. What do you really believe in? If you want to dissolve the Constitution, that is totally cool. But there is a way to do this. There's a process, and if you don't follow it, I can't be hanging out with you, man. Like I,
No,
it's
man,
not.
it's
It's
like
not that I don't agree with your
it's
right to
250
violate.
years later, and most people this document is 250 years old, somewhere around there, and most people don't even want to dissolve it. That just shows you how strongly the founding fathers made this. And yes, there was some racist things in the Constitution. There were some mistakes made in stuff. Life was different back then, and we've bettered the Constitution time over time, but we should not be trying to destroy the original foundation of it at the end of the
No,
day.
you're allowed to. You're allowed to. It is that is the exact point of the American Constitution, the U.S. Constitution, is that people need the tools to do it again. That's the whole point.
I mean, they can amend things, they can make small changes,
No,
but
if you
I
want to
really,
dissolve the Constitution, you should be allowed to not just say it but do it.
I mean, yeah, if
But
enough people vote on it, if we had the majority of
exactly,
Americans, yeah, sure, we live
not
in a
it, not
democracy.
because you strong armed me and you took the executive branch.
Yeah. Okay, you're trying to talk about deportation again, but once again, we have this we have I mean man you gotta look into the research. You gotta look into the research. I mean, I don't know if you ever talked to Chris, but you should definitely talk to him. He's a criminal defense attorney. He lives in Massachusetts. I have him on here all the time. He doesn't like Trump, but I get along with him a lot. We have a lot of similar ideas. He's probably less 2A pro than me or you, but he does have some guns. He doesn't believe in getting rid of this Second Amendment, but he just like kind of doesn't say the most positive things about it. Always he says, "Oh, a lot of people die from firearms." I said, "Okay, well, twice, three times the amount of people die from cars every year, my guy. Like, do you think cars should be outlawed? Do you think everyone should be forced to take the bus?" And I mean, that wasn't his argument. He wasn't saying that they should be outlawed, but he said overall he believes that firearms do more harm than good, which I disagree with that statement.
No, they do not do more harm than good at all. So Lulu, can I read this by Lululemon?
Yeah, go
Lululemon,
ahead.
you said something crazy a while ago, so I want you to keep that same energy. But I do like what you're saying here. The founding fathers were geniuses, and they were smart enough to understand that they weren't perfect, and the Constitution would need to be changed in the future. I totally agree with that. I love the Constitution. I don't want it to change at all, but I understand that for the Constitution to live on, we have to allow for all discourse, not just discourse that we like, but weirdo discourse. We have to let it happen because how the hell else are we going to allow people to experience life as they deserve it if we are prescribing all methods for behavior? Makes no sense to me. Certain people, like I said, so I want to say something earlier. We were talking about how the economy runs and that we accepted like the poor and downtrodden and we made them part of our economy and they got really let's read this. I want to talk about how we can profit from from
The poor.
behavior from
No, I'm just
behavior
kidding.
in the future. But what is Bellico saying?
And of course, I want to recognize that any innocent souls meeting their ends is equally tragic, regardless of fame. And above everything, I hope you two stay friends and can one day look back on these times with smiles. Hell yeah, man. Hell
Of
yeah.
course,
I
of
think
course,
we
of
will.
course, of course, of course. Yeah, Euro's a cool dude.
Yeah,
He's
you're a
a
cool
strong
dude.
dude. To get on here and do this over and over again, it's not fucking easy. This
Yeah,
isn't
man.
fucking easy. This is
I
not
mean,
easy.
I'm sure you see some of the comments they leave. Like either one of us, they'll pick at us and
Ah,
say, "Oh, this or that about us." Like, dude, I just ignore them.
eating comments is nothing. What isn't hard, what isn't easy is to actually have a constant logical progression of your thoughts. I these people can't. I like. I'm not saying all of them can't, but a lot of the people on here. I'm not saying that you're a bad person, but having a train of thought that is logical and progresses in a way that makes sense to other people is it's hard, man. It's a hard thing to do. It's not super easy. But
Yeah,
so we have a bunch of like you said, government workers who may or may not be behaving fraudulently or doing constitutional violations or bad faith or whatever, okay? These people pay money and have pension saved for them. A lot of people want power, and I think people are always going to be drawn to power inherently, not because of incentives, but people are going to want to be a cop because of the power. They're going to want to do this because of power, whatever.
I agree. Some people rather have fame than money. It's like, dude. I mean, of course you can make money off fame, but dude, like, you should care about taking care of your family, your loved ones, and your friends more than being like a famous douchebag. Like, dude, it's exactly what you're saying. All they care about is power because that's exactly what fame is. The more famous you are, the more power you have. Like, some of these influencers act like disgusting human beings. Like, they'll go into a restaurant, they'll be like, "Oh, I have 1 million followers. I'm so famous. Can you let me skip the line?" Like, especially like in Miami, Florida, or any places like that, big cities around the country, people will always do that kind of shit. And I don't know, man. I think it's that the kind of acting and behavior is disgusting. Like that's all
I
they want.
think
They want is fame and they want power.
I think that the people I think that we should I think we the people should take advantage of the power hungry. I think that if power hungry people are too stupid to read their own constitution and to behave in a lawful manner, that they should be taken advantage of.
Probably, yeah.
Okay?
But I also feel like people that are in the government for 70, 80 years, they're money and power hungry. Like if you've been in the government for 60, 70 years, dude, those I listen, I get that it says Trump 2028. I'm not saying like if it was him versus Harris again, yeah, of course I would vote him again. Do I want someone younger and do I want someone, would I like someone younger and someone more intelligent if there's an option? Yeah, 100% I would like it. But if it doesn't seem like we've ever had any options for anyone younger or anything like that. But here, before he goes, let me read this. Before I go, I want to say no one will know me or my actions. I act in the hope that it will rub off on others. I hope that we can see each other as the same. Always, I give away money because I don't need what I give. I really appreciate that, brother. Really appreciate that. You're a really good person. I mean, you don't sound really too politically affiliated, but I really appreciate that, man. If you're leaving now, have a good
He
one. But
he or she is a moral
he or
person.
she, yeah, sorry, he or
Yeah.
she, or whatever you identify as, it's fine.
They are absolutely what they've been talking about this whole time is is kind of like like an awareness, like looking at things from an empathetic perspective. Something that we all need to work on.
Yeah, no kidding. But also, I really just appreciate it. I really appreciate the introspection of the insight and whatnot. And yeah, as I was saying, like people that are in the government for that long, man. I mean, like, dude, like I don't think Bernie Sanders is a bad person necessarily or anything, but like, come on, my guy. Like, okay, I get it if you say Trump is an oligarch. Okay, cool, but like, aren't you like literally an oligarch? What do oligarchs do? They stay in government their entire lives. Like, what has Bernie Sanders done? He's stayed in government his entire life. Like he says, oh, we need a he's a quote unquote socialist Democrat, but I think he's more far off the scale than actual socialist Democrat. I think he's more like a communist. But I don't know how you feel about him. But I feel like it's.
He's a hardcore socialist.
Do you like him or what do you think? Because I think he's
Yeah,
hypocritical.
he's an independent that has the support of his base. So I have no problem with that.
Never
Vermont
forget
loves him.
about the worldly chaos. We have a duty to each other. Have a good one, y'all. Yeah, man. Life can just be ended like that so quickly, man. Like it's not worth all this like disagreements and stuff like that. Like, dude, we only have one life to live. Like once your life is gone, like that's it. Like I mean, it could just end tomorrow, man. Like it's horrible.
See, so
But
look, so YouTube guy. I know he's joking, but I don't think he is. He says, "I want to be an oligarch, low key." All right. So here's my idea. Okay, these people are going to work really hard to gain power, and as they're doing this, they're going to acquire pensions, all these things of that nature. We should make it very easy that if someone is wants to has aspirations of power and they generate pensions based on that aspiration of power, but then they're also constitutional violators, then we should take advantage of them with like in a harsh way.
I agree. Someone said looks up the definition of oligarchy. I mean, I just know about Russian oligarchy, but yeah, that is a good thing. If you have your computer in front of you, maybe you could look up oligarchy. But let me talk about Bernie Sanders since you think that, I don't know what you said exactly, but it sounded
his
like you're.
his base supports him. So I'm trying to judge these people in a way that I can like judge everyone like not based upon my values, but based upon like something that's that's not unique to one uh, politician, but common for all of them. And they're all voted in, and he's been voted in like 8, 9, 10 times, something like that.
Yeah,
Vermont,
that's
Vermont.
because I believe he's a con artist. Like, okay, like I don't believe he's like. I believe he's a con artist with his ideas because he tells people like me and you, people that are not like rich people, like I don't know if you're rich, but I'm just saying, like regular people, just for an
I'm doing
example.
well. I'm doing well.
Yeah, no, I know that, but I'm saying like he wants like ultra wealthy people. Like, there's a difference between like doing well and like billionaire people. We already understand that, but that's the separation. We're all much similar to each other more than billionaires are to us. But that's not even the point I'm making. But I hope you are doing well, my guy. But
Thank you.
the point that I was trying to make is that he's trying to make like working class Americans or people that are like not on his level, people that own 10 homes. I mean, he doesn't own 10 homes; he owns four of them. But he'll tell me and you to give our money away, while he owns four homes, three or four homes, and he rides on private jets. But at the same time, he'll say, "No, you got to give your money away. You got to give it away." I mean, my dude, you have three or four homes. You don't need that many homes. You don't need to ride on a private jet. You don't need to have $20 million in your bank. Like, you don't need $20 million. I mean, I'm just saying, but like, shit, man.
This sounds very socialist. That you're saying we need to tax the hell out of Bernie Sanders.
No,
And
dude, I'm not.
okay,
I'm not socialist. I'm just pointing out the fact that he is quite literally socialist, and he's not following his own ideals. Like, what I'm
okay,
saying is,
I
he's
see.
a hypocrite.
Yeah. I mean, I see where you're coming from. He has a lot of money. Uh, I still think I don't think that because you're a socialist or that you believe in government programs, it means you have to be like miserably poor.
No, I don't
In
think he should
reality,
be miserably poor. He can own one. He can own a home. He can have like a couple $1 million in his bank. But when you get to the point when you're at 10, 20, 30, $40 million, it depends what estimates of his wealth you believe. It'll say anywhere from 5 million to 30 or 40 million. But
so the reality of this though is that the economics if his platform doesn't have economic might, then then he has no power. So all of these government programs that we are trying to push forward without uh, economic implementation planned out, none of them are possible. So even like it doesn't matter how what ideals we have. if we don't have economics to match them and that they're not generating revenue and they can be balanced and so on and so forth. So I don't think that you have to live your ideology when it's unviable to do it in. Okay, so how do I say this the right way? It's not economically viable to espouse egalitarianism from a principle standpoint when the discourse is flooded with what's the word APAC, these public, what is the word, the PACs, super
You
PACs,
lobbying?
yeah, lobbying money. So all the lobbying
Bernie
money is
Sanders
flooding
takes a
the.
lot of lobbying money as well.
So even, yes, he has this egalitarian platform, but the reality of it is that
That he needs
it's
money to
cost
run
a
his
lot of money
business.
to have a platform.
Okay, so that's I understand that. I understand that, but like he's not making that point for any other business
I
owners.
am kind of saying do as I say, not as I do. But the problem is that this isn't a perfect world where I can pay for commercials on good wishes and good intentions.
I
I
know, but
have to
neither
have.
can the billionaires that Bernie Sanders criticizes.
So I believe that we need the economics to back everything we do, and I don't think that the Conservative Party has the economic policy to back their policies. We can't afford to police the world. We cannot afford to hellfire missile Venezuela.
Well, to be fair with you, didn't Obama try to police the world far more than Donald Trump? I mean,
Uh,
he did
yeah,
bomb many places.
Obama bombed the shit out of the Middle East. Yeah, he did.
I mean, he tried to police the world way more. And dude, I don't think it's a. I think this is like a bipartisan thing you're talking about. I don't think it's fair to say like conservatives or Republicans, because like let's be honest, there. It doesn't matter what party they are. They all want to be the world's police.
Ugh.
Unless no, listen, hear me out. Unless you're a libertarian or unless you're like Green Party or something like that. But if you're like a
Ra-
classic Republican or Democrat, then you
Rand Paul is knocking it out of the park for the last week. He's been saying the right thing. He's like, we do not have the economics to police the world. He has been
he's a
super
rhino though,
down to
isn't
the.
he? Rand Paul. He's a Republican, but he's like more of a
He's pretty
rhino.
libertarian. He's pretty fucking libertarian, I
Okay,
think.
yeah, no, you're right. I remember he was a libertarian, but he didn't run as libertarian, but he's libertarian. But
Yeah, he is. He talked about economics this entire week, and I think it's spot on because the reality is that people are not thinking about the economy at all, and
he's
that's
also
what we.
90 years old. But that's neither
Who, Rand
here nor there.
Paul? Wait, for
Yeah,
Rand Paul? Rand Paul looks good, dude.
I mean, I like the guy, but I'm not gonna sit here and say that he looks any younger.
He looks like 50s.
Okay,
He looks.
fine. If he looks 50s, then Trump looks like he's in 50s.
Yeah,
That's
he's
just
he's normally a piece of shit in my book, but this last week he's been had a lot of good takes.
okay. Okay, I'll
Yeah.
put that in there. You should talk to Dean Parker or Dean. I mean, or Parker. Sorry, I don't know why I had saying Dean Parker. Dude, I would love to talk to Dean or Parker, but dude, you want me to be honest with you? I don't think Dean or Parker are good faith debaters, dude. Charlie was a good faith. Like if the left actually had someone like Charlie, like if he was like if you had the level of fame that Charlie did, you would actually be good. Or if you had the level of fame that Dean or Parker had, he would be much better than Dean or Parker because dude, Dean or Parker they're not good faith debaters, dude. Just look at their channel. They don't try to actually share ideas. They just try to make MAGA people look stupid. Like they're not actually
Duncan.
trying to spread messages or get ideas out there. All their videos are about is oh, MAGA dumbass can't even name. Here's one of it. Let me think of a name. MAGA dumbass couldn't even name. One constitutional right or something like that. Like that, they're not good
He,
faith debaters.
I think it comes from not actually having like real life experience in the workplace. Like my grandfather was a union president. He is a soldier. He served in Germany. He's not a smart dude. You know what I'm saying? Like smart people are not the end all be all of society. Smart people suck a lot of the times. So you got to have some respect for the average person. And I don't think that Dean or Parker have too much respect for average dumb Americans that are great.
Yeah, all they do is try to make fun of people for clicks and views. Like, okay, yeah, I'll make a video here and there. If someone says there's something really tragically like horrible, yeah, okay, I'll make it a little bit of clickbait. But I'm not gonna like outright call people dumb and stupid unless I mean like I'm not gonna say I'm never gonna do that because who knows? There might be a circumstance where I do that. I have trolled a couple people with a couple videos here and there, but dude, like they just do it to a whole nother level. Like it's just
Yeah,
hard to explain. And I don't, you didn't really touch on, I mean, you did say it, but like, I do think the problem is the work experience. A lot of these people that are getting into politics, like, dude, you should not be getting into politics when you don't even pay your own phone bill, when you don't have any work experience. Like, if you want to tell me your work experience is, oh, I mowed lawns when I was 15, that's my full work experience. Like, dude, I don't want to hear it. I do not want to hear it, my guy.
I yeah. People. So they're saying that like they're talking about um, smart people are bad for humanity. No, I'm saying that smart is not really like a. It's not a value that I hold highly. I like smart people and I like smart stuff, but I don't think that
You can be
being
very smart and you cannot be very articulate. You cannot be a good speaker. You can have not
be
very.
incredibly neurotic.
Yeah, and there's also different types of intelligence. Like some people are so good. They can read textbooks all day. They can remember everything they read in the textbook, but they don't know anything about the real world or, how things actually work. Like, okay, I've had people like quote me shit from textbooks. Like I've had that economy student quote me shit from textbooks, like, "Oh, this about the economy, this about the economy." Like, dude, stop quoting me shit from outdated textbooks that are 50 years old. He's like one of the things he said was like, "Oh, we need more. We need for people to succeed. We need more. We need more product." I'm just like, dude, we live in 2025. You don't have to sell product to be rich. You can write a book. You can make a YouTube channel. There's like so much stuff you can do. You don't need to sell physical product. Like it just makes me think that some of these, kids in college for economy or economics or whatever it's called are, like just learning bullshit. Dude, they're learning shit that's outdated from textbooks. They'll be telling you like, "Oh, you need actual product for a business to do well." Like that's the shit that he was saying to me. I'm just thinking like my guy, that's not how the world works anymore. I hate to tell you.
Yeah, it's my the most people that I see are of average intelligence, and they live unnuanced lives. Their lives are simple. They have a job. They they say what they mean. There's not a lot of complication going on in their lives, and I don't think that many pundits really appreciate that lifestyle very much. I think that pundits are typically intellectuals. They're college educated, and and I just think that it's obvious right now the college education is becoming an economic liability that we're not getting jobs, we're not using our degrees, and all
Yeah,
that
dude.
intellectualism.
I
Well,
agree.
I'm not being anti-intellectual, but I'm being pro trade,
Yeah,
you know
100%. I feel the same way. We
pro
need more
common
trades.
sense.
Like, what makes? I'll be honest with you guys. What is making more money right now? Trade school or college degrees? This is like, dude. Literally, a
No
study
one's
came out. A study
Euro.
came
Let
out
me
the
let
other
me let
day.
me respond to this fucking idiot. No one's saying smart people are bad. I'm saying smart people are overvalued. Overvalued. Sorry.
This is a great way to point it. Like a lot of people that aren't smart, quote unquote, they're willing to take action before, smart people will take action. Smart people will sometimes you're too smart for your own good. You'll be thinking about it for like months. Meanwhile, the dumb guy already did the idea that you thought of and he just trying to make it work. And meanwhile, you're still thinking, "Oh, should I do this?" And the dumb guy's already been trying it and he's trying to been putting effort in. But
Yeah.
it's good to have a little bit of everything, good to be well rounded. But literally, for all you guys out there that are crying, saying, "Oh, my college degree, this or that. I'm in college right now." Listen, I have nothing against it. If you're going to college, if you have a scholarship, if you have loans, whatever, dude, do what you love. I hope you're doing what you love. I hope you're studying what you love. Good luck for you. But I will say that there have been studies that came out that said I believe it was Gen X. It said new studies coming out that Gen X people that have degrees, bachelor's degrees versus no degrees, now have the same rate of employment. What does that tell you when people with bachelor's degrees have the same rate of employment as people without them. Like, aren't they supposed to be the ones getting all the jobs? Like, isn't that a little bit concerning to some of you guys out there? I mean, that's concerning to me. Like, but I don't like that doesn't surprise me at all.
Where we have a massive underappreciation for the dumb worker. Dumb workers are awesome. They're the
But
best people
another
to party
reason it
with.
doesn't concern me, it does concern me, and it doesn't concern me. It concerns me because I worry about I think the college education rate will start dropping. I don't like to see that, but I also think that it's also good because if you're going to be going to school, I'm not gonna sit here and make fun of any degrees, but I'm just gonna put it this way: there are some bullshit degrees out there, and if you want to admit it or not, there are plenty of bullshit degrees out here, and these statistics are only coming because people are getting bullshit degrees that they can't get hired with. Like that's why these statistics are coming out.
It's
And
the so Blake, one more time. I am not saying that smart people are bad. I'm saying that there are too many fake smart people. If you're smart, good. Be smart. Do not aspire to be smart if it's hard for you. If you have a hard time reading, that's okay. It's completely okay to have a hard time reading. It's okay to have a poor attention span. What is not okay is to force yourself into a lifestyle that is not viable for you. Because what's end up happening is that you are going to become a liability rather than an asset. I am tired of people who think they have to go to college. You don't have to go to college.
I'm going to address this comment as well because I completely disagree. I do believe college can provide you education in certain fields and certain studies, but I do not believe college gives you the ability of critical thinking. In my personal opinion, how do you get critical thinking skills? Real life experiences. When you're going through something difficult or messed up in life, dude, that's when you develop critical thinking skills. You don't develop critical thinking skills talking to, a teacher that can get that, is pretty much forced to work that job that she hates while reading out of a textbook. That nothing about reading about a textbook and talking to a teacher that hates their job is gonna help you gain critical thinking skills. Like, dude, like, no, what critical thinking skills do you get out of going to a college?
No, you learn how to take fucking orders. Like any
Yeah,
other
that's exactly
fucking
what you do. That's exactly what the school system's for. It's for to take fucking orders. It's for the workers. Like it's for the workers, my guy. Like I'm just gonna be honest. Same thing with, high school and elementary. That's what they take you. That's what they teach you to do. To take freaking orders.
yes. So if that's what I'm saying. Everyone that's just why I don't want this is the exact reason why I don't push for people to work or not work or anything like that. I think that I do believe that things will play out as they should. And I think that us pushing people down certain avenues costs us more money than it would if we just let people sit there and collect a check. I know that sounds crazy, but I really do believe that.
Well, I
There are
mean, if
so
they
many
have to
people.
go in debt $60,000 and they don't pay off their debts, I mean, I guess that falls onto the taxpayers because these colleges are a lot of times subsidized by the government. Once again, your favorite word: subsidy, subsidy, subsidy.
Yeah, yeah.
I see all these crazy comments about college this, college that. I
Yeah,
want
they,
to
they don't
know.
like this they don't like this concept.
Yeah, they don't like the concept when you say
They don't like the concept
when
of
you point out
variety.
the
It's
fact
it's
that they
variety,
wasted
dude.
$150,000 for a degree. That pisses them off, dude. That's something Charlie would say that would piss people off.
Yeah, we don't need you to have a fucking we don't need you to make a shitload of money. We don't. You the individual is economically irrelevant.
Buyer's remorse. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think college degrees make you a shit ton of money. The only circumstances that I think college degrees make you a shit ton of money is here's some circumstances: engineer, scientist, something like that, lawyer, doctor. That's pretty much it. Or maybe something in
Yeah.
computer science. But other than those five things, dude, you're not gonna make that much money.
Yeah. And even if you do make money, that's the whole point. Is like a lot of people make money to push pencils.
You can get a free education. Yeah, with taxpayer money, sure you can.
I love the unions. Go unions. Unions are great.
I like unions as well, but I have mixed feelings about them. But yeah, overall, yeah, I probably agree with them more than I disagree with them.
It's the only way that we're gonna get wage suppression fixed. So
I mean, we've seen how unions work great, but I also don't believe that we should be paying people $35 an hour to flip burgers. But that's another thing.
but I think we're onto something. People don't like to hear that they wasted all their time going to school.
It wouldn't offend them if these comments by people. This wouldn't offend you if you were making seven figures a year. If you were making a
Yeah.
million plus dollars a year, you'd be like, I don't care about these dipshits. But the fact that you
Your life
sound like you
sucks.
probably aren't doing good, that your life sucks. It sounds like you're
Which is
struggling.
okay. Your life is allowed to suck. Like it's not a you're not a bad person because your life sucks. It means that society is kind of failing you.
I completely disagree with that too. If your life sucks, I believe you can fix it yourself. I mean, okay, you can say society sucks, but to say
I
that it's
mean, society
society's
doesn't suck.
fault.
It's just it's imperfect. It fails a lot
Yeah,
of
it's
people.
imperfect. I agree, but you can still fix your life. You still have the control over it, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, but people should not like think that I don't want people out here thinking like that
They shouldn't
everything's their
beat
fault.
themselves up over it. I mean,
Yeah.
stuff can happen to you that you don't have control over. You can
Yeah,
catch,
it should
like
happen.
you
Some
can
people
stuff like
some
you
people
can
live
catch
100
criminal
years
cases,
and then
dude.
and
You
they never
probably
make
were
a
just
dollar.
minding
It's
your
not
own
a
business, and the government stick their fucking nose in your business. That's fucked. It
being
happens.
part of the economy is of a gift and a wonderful honor, but it's not necessary for every single person on earth.
That's where I disagree. I mean, it's not
It's
necessary.
not.
Obviously, it's not necessarily, but if you want to be a productive member of society, luckily you
Not
have the choice.
ever, but we agree that there are children, disabled, elderly. There are huge segments of
There's homeless
society
people that
that
live
are
in the
not
woods.
contributing, and we don't think that they're trash.
No, we don't think we don't think they're trash. No one deserves to be treated as trash. But if you're, like I said before, I'm just gonna stick with my guts on some of the previous comments I've made. Love my guns, hell yeah, brother. But I'm probably gonna wrap up within the next 5 minutes, and
Yeah, I gotta go too.
sleep.
I was gonna quit a little bit ago, but
Okay, if you guys have any
what time
final
is it? What time is
questions,
it there? What time is it in? Oh, it's like 12 o'clock where you are.
yeah,
Oh, y'all need to go to sleep. Chat, take your ass to bed.
yeah, that's facts.
Right? What time is it in chat? Let me
Guys,
see this.
comment down below. Tell us what time it is where you're at.
So
And
right
if you have
now
any final questions, comments, if it's a good question or comment, we'll
it
answer
is
it. Doesn't even
it's
gotta be a
11
super
o'clock in
chat.
Texas right now. Ain't nobody legalizing cannabis. What are you talking about? 904. Oh, you're on the West Coast. Shout out to you. East Coast, West Coast.
We should organize a march for Charlie. Sure, if you want to organize a march for someone, do it.
Yeah, you should do it. I think you should.
We got another person mad about the college issue.
Matt Acoustic. I'm not going to spend money on degrees. I'm globalizing my income. I invest in businesses around the world,
Hell yeah.
in other countries.
Hell yeah. For
Because
gun
their
control and more
economic.
safety guidelines, well, fuck off. How about that?
Thanks for watching,
Respectfully.
J-Box. We appreciate you.
I would march for Charlie as a leftist. Hell yeah.
Rock and roll, man. Free speech for everybody. Discourse is good medicine.
All right, man. I'll let you guys go, but have a good night, everyone.
I hope we had fun.
Peace out.
I hope
Yeah, man. That was a
everybody
lot
had
of
a good
fun,
time.
man. Good luck with everything going on tomorrow.
Yeah,
And
wish me luck.
prayers for you.
I got court tomorrow, so if anyone wants to watch a court proceeding, I'm gonna try to put it on my YouTube
Yeah.
tomorrow, somewhere around like 9-10 o'clock.
What's your YouTube? Is it Falcon Man or what is
Yeah,
the YouTube?
Falcon Man at Falcon Man 407. I don't know if I can type it or not, but you'll just find me at Falcon Man 407 if you like to
Hell yeah.
watch
I'll
court
watch it,
proceedings.
man. What
Yeah,
time?
go check it out.
I'll turn on the notifications for your YouTube, so anytime, whatever.
Yeah, I might
Okay,
I
yeah,
might
no,
I might
man.
put it in
Promote
the
it in
Discord if
Discord. I'll
that's okay
promote
with
it
you.
for you. I'll tag everyone and tell them to watch it.
Cool.
All right, night, guys. Peace out, guys. Have a good one. Much love. Peace, prosperity. Good luck again, man. Peace.